staying focused on your goal can feel really hard. Distractions pop up, motivation fades, and it's easy to lose sight of what really matters. But what if you had simple, practical ways to keep your attention sharp every day? What if you could build habits that make staying on track natural, even when things get tough? In this video, you'll discover straightforward steps to help you lock in your focus, push through challenges, and keep moving forward with confidence. If you want to stop feeling stuck and start making real progress, this is for you. Let's dive in and get you closer to your dreams, one focused day at a time. Chapter 1. Define exactly what you want every single day. Most people wake up and move through their day with no clear direction. They respond to whatever is in front of them. Their attention is pulled in every direction: messages, notifications, problems, people's opinions, unexpected news, and by the time the day ends, they can't point to anything meaningful they accomplished. They were busy but not focused, active but not effective, and after enough days like that, they lose confidence. They wonder why their life feels stuck. They wonder why their goals never become real. The answer is simple. They never started the day with a clear understanding of what they truly wanted. They never took the time to define their aim, and that's where all transformation begins, with clarity. You cannot stay focused on something you haven't fully defined. A vague desire like, "I want to be successful," or "I want to get in shape," has no power. It can't pull you forward. It has no emotional weight. It doesn't tell you what to do next. Clarity is what sharpens your vision. When you take time to define exactly what you want, you give your mind direction. You take control of your day before the world tries to. Without clarity, you drift. With clarity, you move forward. That's why defining what you want every single day is not just a habit, it's a lifeline. It's how you turn invisible dreams into visible goals and turn those goals into daily action. Most people believe they have to be motivated before they can focus, but motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. If you rely on it, your life will be as inconsistent as your emotions. What you need is a process, and the most reliable process begins with sitting down before your phone, before your obligations, before the noise starts, and asking yourself one powerful question: what do I want today to move me closer to? That question changes everything. It takes your focus off distractions and puts it back on direction. It reminds you that you are not here to survive the day, you are here to shape it. Define what you want in specific and personal terms, not what someone else wants for you, not what society says you should want, not what you think will impress others. What you want, deeply, authentically, unapologetically. The more specific you are, the more power your focus will have. "I want to work on my business for 2 hours today" is stronger than "I want to be productive." "I want to finish 3 pages of writing by 10 a.m. is stronger than "I want to write more." When you define your focus clearly, you give your mind a target to hit. The brain is a problem-solving machine. When it knows what the target is, it works harder to find the path, and this is not a one-time event. This is a daily practice. Defining what you want once a month is not enough. Life moves fast. Challenges shift. Distractions multiply. Without constant redirection, you'll wander back into confusion. But when you define what you want every single morning, you keep your mind anchored. You reduce stress because you no longer waste mental energy trying to decide what matters. You reduce procrastination because your aim is no longer vague. You don't need 100 goals. You need one aim each day that keeps your life moving forward. It's easy to overcomplicate this, but the best strategies are always simple. Take 5 minutes each morning. Sit in silence. No music, no scrolling. Just you and your intention. Ask yourself, what would make today a win? What matters most right now? What's one action I can take that will move my life forward? Write it down, not on a digital screen. Write it with your hand. Use a pen and paper. There is something powerful about the act of writing. It connects your mind and body. It reinforces your intention, and the words stay in front of you. They become your compass. And every time your mind drifts throughout the day, you can return to what you wrote and remind yourself of your direction. This practice is not about perfection. There will be days when your focus is foggy, days when your thoughts are scattered, but even then, the act of trying to define what you want brings strength because it builds the muscle of awareness. You become more conscious of your decisions. You begin to catch yourself when you're wasting time. You notice when your attention is being hijacked by things that don't matter. And every time you return your focus to what you want, you grow stronger. You take back control from the chaos of the world. Defining what you want is also an act of responsibility. It means you're no longer waiting for life to happen. You are choosing to direct it. Most people live in reaction. You are choosing to live in intention. That changes how you speak, how you move, how you spend your time. You stop chasing everything and start building one thing. And with enough days like that, you build momentum. You start to trust yourself again. You start to see progress. And nothing motivates like progress. Real focus does not begin with willpower. It begins with clarity. And clarity is earned by facing your desires honestly. What do you want to build? Who do you want to become? What kind of life do you want to wake up to? These are not questions to ask once in a while. They are questions to ask until the answers are burned into your daily decisions. Because until you define your goal, your energy will always be divided. Until you name your aim, your attention will serve the nearest distraction. But when you define your goal every single morning, you become the kind of person who no longer needs to be pushed. You pull yourself forward. You might be tempted to skip this practice, to tell yourself you're too busy. But the truth is, 5 minutes of clarity saves hours of confusion. Most time is not wasted in laziness. It's wasted in uncertainty. People don't fail because they didn't work hard. They fail because they never decided what to work on. You don't need more time. You need more precision. Define it, write it, focus on it. And if you fail one day, don't spiral. Return to the habit the next morning. Focus is not built in a single day. It is built one day at a time. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing one thing intentionally. Over time, that adds up to an unshakable mindset. This daily practice also changes how you feel about yourself. When you define what you want and follow through, even in small ways, your self-respect increases. You begin to trust your own word. That trust is the foundation of confidence. And confidence makes focus easier. You no longer doubt whether you can do hard things. You've already proved it. Every time you show up with clarity, you become mentally stronger. You stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. You stop relying on motivation. You start living with discipline. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is power. And that power begins with knowing what matters today, not someday. Today, because your entire life is made up of todays. One day at a time, one decision at a time, one clear goal at a time. That is how great lives are built. That is how focus becomes effortless. Not because it's easy, but because it's automatic. You don't question what to do. You've already decided. People admire those who are focused, but they often miss what created that focus. It wasn't talent. It wasn't luck. It was this waking up and defining what mattered most over and over, until that became a way of life. You have that same ability. It's not outside of you. It's not reserved for the elite. It's a choice you can make every single morning. Define what you want. Write it. Commit to it. And act on it. That's where everything changes. You may not have all the answers yet. You may still be figuring out what your bigger goal is. That's okay. The daily habit of defining what matters right now will guide you there. Clarity is not a lightning strike. It's a result of daily decisions. And even if you don't know the full picture, you can still take the next right step. Focus is not about knowing everything. It's about doing the right thing right now. And that begins by asking, today, what do I truly want? You will be tempted to chase multiple things. You will feel pulled by the demands of the world. But your power is in narrowing your vision. Not everything deserves your time. Not every opportunity is meant for you. You have to learn to focus on the essential. That's what defining your goal helps you do. It reminds you that energy is limited, time is limited, attention is limited, but results come from doing the right things with intensity and consistency. That's what separates those who achieve from those who talk. You don't need more inspiration, you need more clarity. You don't need more goals, you need one aim. You don't need more hours, you need sharper focus. And the fastest way to sharpen your focus is by defining exactly what you want every single day. Make it a habit, make it non-negotiable, treat it as a sacred ritual, because this is where real change begins, not in the big wins, but in the quiet decisions you make every morning before the world starts talking. The decision to take ownership, the decision to focus, the decision to define your day before it defines you. This is your life. It's not a rehearsal. Each day is a chance to move closer to what matters. Don't waste it chasing what doesn't. Define what you want, and become the kind of person who follows through, not occasionally, every day. Because if you do, your life will not stay the same. It will become a living reflection of your clarity, your focus, and your discipline. And that kind of life is not built by chance. It's built by those who decide to live it with purpose. Every morning, starting now. Chapter 2. Visualize your goal clearly. First thing morning. When you wake up in the morning, your mind is still quiet, still open, still untouched by the noise of the world. It hasn't yet been hijacked by emails, messages, or social media. That early moment is sacred. It's the only time of the day when your subconscious is still most accessible and ready to be directed. What you focus on during that short window has the power to shape how you think, feel, and act for the rest of the day. That's why the first thing you must do is visualize your goal with clarity and intensity. Not just think about it loosely, but see it so clearly that your mind starts believing it's already happening. Visualizing your goal first thing in the morning isn't about fantasy. It's about training your focus. It's about showing your brain where to go before distractions try to take it somewhere else. If you don't set your direction the moment you wake up, the world will. Someone else's urgency, someone else's drama, someone else's opinion will fill that vacuum. But when you decide to mentally see the life you're building before the day begins, you strengthen your internal compass. You create emotional alignment between where you are and where you want to be. Most people wake up and immediately react. They check their phone, scroll through updates, or rush into their to-do list. In doing that, they condition their mind to be passive, to respond, to serve other people's agendas. But the people who stay focused on their goals are the ones who choose to take ownership of those first few minutes. They close their eyes, block out the noise, and immerse their imagination in the details of their future. They don't wait for inspiration, they generate it. They don't let the day decide their direction, they declare it the moment they wake up. When you visualize your goal, don't just picture the outcome, picture the process. See yourself waking up early. See yourself doing the work with discipline. Feel the challenge. Imagine yourself moving through the resistance and taking action anyway. Imagine the struggle and the courage it takes to continue. The brain doesn't respond to vague images. It responds to specificity. When you picture every detail, the environment, the time of day, the way your body feels, the thoughts in your head, you activate your mind on a deeper level. You create emotional memory, and that emotional memory becomes a signal to your nervous system, reinforcing that this vision matters. You must also bring your senses into the experience. Imagine the sound of your footsteps walking into the place where you work. Hear the silence of deep focus. Feel the sensation of typing, writing, building. See the numbers going up, the pages being filled, the transformation happening. Feel the weight of the success. Hear your voice as you speak with confidence. Picture the conversations you'll have, the way people will respond to your growth. Imagine the person you're becoming, not just what you're achieving. Your goal is not just a thing, it's a future version of you. When you visualize, you must step into that version fully. This habit creates emotional energy. It creates urgency. It creates clarity. Because when you see yourself living your goal, not someday but now, your actions begin to change. You begin to make decisions that match that vision. You begin to say no to things that pull you off track. You begin to feel more connected to your purpose because you've already experienced it mentally. And once you've felt it, it becomes harder to ignore it. Your days no longer feel random. They become part of a larger mission. There is also a deep psychological shift that happens when you visualize clearly in the morning. Your brain begins to close the gap between your current reality and your mental vision. It starts to look for opportunities, patterns, and actions that align with what you saw. This is not magic. It's biology. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system, which filters the information you receive. When you give it a clear picture first thing in the morning, it starts prioritizing information that matches your focus. You start noticing things you used to overlook. You become more alert, more responsive, and more connected to the path. The best time to do this is right after waking up, while your mind is still in that relaxed and receptive state. Sit upright, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and bring your attention inward. Don't rush. Let the image of your goal come into focus. It might feel vague at first, but that's normal. Stay with it. The more you practice, the clearer it becomes. Your imagination gets stronger, your emotional connection deepens, and that vision begins to feel less like a dream and more like a plan. You may not realize it, but this practice builds mental resilience. When you visualize your goal consistently, setbacks stop shaking you so much. You've already seen the bigger picture so many times that temporary obstacles lose their power. You stop doubting yourself so easily. You stop quitting when it gets hard. Because deep down, your mind has already accepted the future as real. You're not hoping anymore, you're expecting. And that expectation fuels your consistency. It's important that you don't confuse visualizing with wishing. This is not about escaping reality, it's about reshaping it. Visualization must lead to action. It must inspire movement. After you finish seeing your goal, get up and start behaving like the person you just imagined. Carry that energy into your work. Let it shape your tone, your posture, your schedule. Let it become the standard you live by, because the goal is not to just see a better future, it's to become the kind of person who creates it. You will have mornings when you don't feel like doing this, when your mind feels cloudy or distracted. That's when the practice matters most. Discipline is built by showing up even when it doesn't feel perfect. If you wait for ideal conditions, you will wait forever. Success is not born in comfort. It's born in the daily decision to return to your vision, no matter how you feel. It's not about being motivated. It's about being committed. Some days your vision will evolve. Let it. The point is not to get stuck in one image, but to stay connected to your highest intention. Your mind is dynamic. Your path may change, but the discipline of visualizing each morning keeps you anchored in purpose. It keeps you focused on what matters, and that consistency rewires your thinking. Over time, you start to expect more from yourself. You start to carry yourself differently, not because someone told you to, but because you've already lived it in your mind. This habit doesn't require hours. 5 minutes of deep visualization is enough to reset your mindset. But it has to be real. It has to be focused. This is not daydreaming. This is mental training. Just as you train your body with repetition, you train your focus with repetition. The more you visualize your goal, the easier it becomes to align your behavior with it. The gap between vision and action closes, and your life starts to reflect your highest values. You might think this is too simple to make a difference, but that's where most people go wrong. They look for complex solutions and overlook the power of simple discipline. Visualizing your goal clearly every morning is one of the most effective tools for self-mastery. It puts you in control of your emotional state. It gives your actions direction, it builds mental toughness, and it reminds you every day of who you're becoming. The truth is, you become what you focus on. Your life becomes what you expect of yourself. If you start each morning with no intention, no direction, no mental rehearsal of where you're going, then don't be surprised when the day pulls you in every direction but forward. But if you wake up and take 5 quiet minutes to enter the future in your mind, to feel it as real, to see it as inevitable, then you are no longer wandering, you are moving with purpose. And when purpose drives your day, nothing can distract you for long. Focus is not an accident. Discipline is not luck. Success is not random. All of it starts with attention. And there is no better time to give your attention to what matters than in the early quiet of the morning, when your mind is still open and the world hasn't spoken yet. That is your moment. Use it. See the life you are building. See the version of yourself who made it real. Feel it. Believe it. Then rise and build it. One focused day at a time. Chapter 3. Remove every distraction that steals your attention. You will never reach your goal if your attention is constantly scattered. Every time you stop working to check your phone, respond to a message, or glance at a meaningless notification, you are giving your focus away to something that doesn't serve your growth. The truth is, your focus is your power. Whatever steals it controls the quality of your day, and over time, the direction of your life. Distractions may look small in the moment, but their cost adds up. If you don't remove them, they will slowly erode your ability to stay locked in on what matters most. The human brain was not designed to constantly switch between tasks. Every time you shift your attention, even briefly, you create mental friction. That friction leads to fatigue, mistakes, and disconnection. You lose momentum, and more importantly, you lose the rhythm required to make real progress. Deep work doesn't happen in fragments. It happens when you create a protected space where your mind can stay on one thing without interruption. That level of focus isn't just helpful, it's essential for anyone who wants to achieve something meaningful. Most distractions don't look dangerous at first. They seem harmless. They come in the form of quick checks, small interruptions, or mindless browsing. But each one pulls you out of the present moment and breaks the mental thread you are following. You might tell yourself it only takes a few seconds, but the real cost is the time it takes to get your full attention back. Multiply that across a full day, and you're left with very little uninterrupted focus. That's why you must become fiercely protective of your attention. It is your most limited and valuable resource. The first step is to become brutally honest about what's stealing your focus. Look at your environment. Look at your habits. Look at what you reach for when you feel uncomfortable or bored. Is your phone always in your hand? Are you jumping between tabs? Are you allowing notifications to interrupt your flow? Is background noise constantly pulling your mind away from the task at hand? These small habits may feel normal, but they create a state of permanent distraction, and you cannot build a future in that state. You have to audit your day with clarity. Where does your attention go first thing in the morning? What breaks your concentration during the hours you should be focused? What are you consuming that adds no value to your mission? Until you get clear on what's pulling you off course, you can't make the necessary changes. And if you don't change, you stay stuck in a cycle of scattered effort and unfinished work. Once you identify the sources of distraction, you must remove them with intention. That means turning off all non-essential notifications. That means putting your phone in another room when you need to do deep work. That means cleaning up your workspace so there's nothing around to tempt you into procrastination. It means deciding ahead of time what matters most today and then eliminating anything that competes with that priority. You don't need more time, you need fewer distractions. The hours you already have are enough, if you protect them. You must also stop treating distraction like it's an accident. It's not. Most of it is designed. Your apps are designed to pull you in. Your feed is designed to keep you scrolling. Your devices are programmed to steal your attention, not protect it. So if you want to take control of your life, you have to stop playing the game on their terms. You must set boundaries that protect your time, your focus, and your energy. If you don't, you're not just being distracted, you're being controlled. There's a reason successful people guard their attention so fiercely. They understand that distraction is the enemy of depth. They don't allow access to their minds without intention. They schedule time to respond to messages instead of being reactive all day. They keep their digital space clean and minimal. They are ruthless about what earns their focus because they know that scattered energy produces scattered results. If you want the clarity and power they have, you must adopt the same mindset. You must become unavailable to anything that pulls you off your path. Even your thoughts can become a distraction if you don't manage them. Worrying, overthinking, replaying conversations, or predicting problems that haven't happened yet. These are all internal distractions. They feel urgent, but they're usually unproductive. You have to develop the discipline to recognize when your mind is drifting and gently bring it back. Focus is not about forcing your brain to be perfect. It's about constantly returning to what matters again and again, no matter how many times you get pulled away. If you truly want to protect your focus, you also need to build strong rituals. Create a consistent start to your work session. Use the same tools, the same space, the same triggers to tell your brain it's time to go deep. Shut the door, put on headphones, turn off all unnecessary inputs. Let everything about your environment communicate one message: this is focus time. The brain thrives on cues. The more you repeat a focused routine, the more your mind adapts to it and drops into that state faster. You must also understand that not all distractions come from outside. Some of them are choices you make because you're avoiding discomfort. You scroll because you're tired. You check your messages because you're anxious. You bounce between tasks because you're afraid of failing at the one that matters. You must develop the awareness to catch yourself in those moments and choose courage over comfort. The work you need to do isn't always fun, but avoiding it won't get you closer to your goal. Removing distraction means facing the difficult work head-on. It's also helpful to build in short, intentional breaks. Not every moment needs to be filled with effort. In fact, trying to focus non-stop can lead to burnout, but there's a difference between a break that restores your mind and a distraction that drains it. Step outside, breathe deeply, move your body, drink water. These are breaks that help. Scrolling endlessly or jumping into gossip is not a break, it's just a more appealing distraction. Learn the difference and choose accordingly. Over time, the more you eliminate distractions, the stronger your focus becomes. It's like building a muscle. At first, it feels difficult. Your brain wants to go back to the easy dopamine of distractions, but with practice, you start to enjoy deep work. You start to crave silence, clarity, and uninterrupted progress. You begin to notice how much calmer and more confident you feel when your attention isn't constantly being hijacked. You feel more in control because you are more in control. Removing distraction isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional. Some days you'll slip. Some moments will still get away from you. That's okay. What matters is that you keep returning to your center, keep clearing the noise, keep creating space for deep, focused effort. Every time you do, you reclaim your power, and every hour of real focus compounds, creating progress that distracted people will never understand. Your goal requires everything you've got. It requires your full presence. It requires you to stop treating your time like it's unlimited. You only get so many hours, and if you give them away to distraction, you give away your future with them. But if you learn to remove every distraction that steals your attention, you will move faster, think clearer, and build a life that reflects the depth of your effort. That is the power of full focus, and it starts with the decision to stop allowing anything less. Chapter 4. Commit to one priority and ignore everything else. Most people don't move forward in life because they're trying to chase too many things at once. They spread their attention across multiple goals, different plans, random distractions, and urgent demands, but none of that creates the deep focus needed to build real progress. When everything feels like a priority, nothing truly is. And that confusion keeps you stuck in a loop of busyness without direction. The only way to escape that cycle is to make a bold and clear decision. Choose one priority and give it everything you have. Choosing one priority doesn't mean you're giving up on other parts of your life. It means you're becoming wise enough to know that success is built through clarity and intensity, not scattered effort. You can't move powerfully in 10 different directions at once. You can only go deep in one. When you fully commit to that one thing, something incredible happens. You gain momentum. You start seeing progress faster. You build confidence with every step forward. And most importantly, your mind stops feeling torn. There's relief in knowing exactly what matters most today. The problem is that most people never decide. They keep options open. They keep switching goals. They keep adjusting their path every time it feels uncomfortable. And in doing so, they stay stuck in the early stage of everything they start. They never go deep enough to see results. They spend their energy on low-value tasks, on the illusion of productivity, instead of aligning their days around what actually matters. That's not a discipline problem. That's a clarity problem. When you know your priority, your path becomes obvious. To commit fully to one priority, you have to understand what it really means. It means you no longer allow competing goals to interfere with your time and energy. It means you build your routines around one specific outcome. It means you protect your best hours for deep work related to that one goal. It means you eliminate tasks that feel urgent but don't serve the bigger mission. It means you stop entertaining distractions that look like progress but actually just keep you busy. Real commitment is not just about effort, it's about alignment. When you try to keep all options open, you weaken your ability to create meaningful results. Life rewards those who are all in. The world gives its best to people who have decided what they want and act in alignment with that decision every single day. But to do that, you need to accept trade-offs. You have to say no to good opportunities so you can say yes to the best one. You have to let go of what's comfortable so you can grow into what's possible. You can't have laser focus if you're constantly second-guessing your direction. There is power in narrowing your focus. When your energy is centered around one core goal, you begin to operate with clarity. You know what to do next. You know how to measure progress. You stop wasting time on decisions that don't matter. Your day becomes a tool to serve your mission. Every task either brings you closer to your goal or it doesn't, and when it doesn't, you learn to ignore it. This simplicity is not limiting, it's freeing. It clears the mental fog and allows you to operate from a place of purpose. Committing to one priority means your habits need to reflect that commitment. Your calendar should show it. Your environment should support it. Your conversations should revolve around it. Your reading, your inputs, your social circle, all of it should help you stay aligned. If there's anything that pulls you away from that priority, you remove it. You're not being harsh, you're being intentional. Because every time you give attention to something outside your core goal, you weaken your ability to move forward with strength. Sometimes the biggest enemy of progress is being pretty good at too many things. You don't need to be average at everything. You need to become excellent at the one thing that will move your life forward. That requires depth, discipline, and long periods of effort that look boring on the surface. Most people won't do that. They want stimulation. They want variety. But those people rarely finish what they start. They stay busy, but they don't grow. Don't fall into that trap. Build something meaningful by staying true to one mission. You might feel pressure to do more, to take on extra responsibilities, or to multitask in the name of productivity. But understand this, productivity isn't about how much you get done, it's about how much of what you do truly matters. Filling your schedule with tasks that don't serve your main goal only creates burnout and regret. You must train yourself to filter every action through one question. Does this move me closer to the one outcome I care about most? If it doesn't belong in your day. This level of focus also creates strength. The longer you stick to one priority, the better you become at it. You refine your skills, you learn the patterns, you start predicting what works, and eventually you get to a place where your results begin to compound. Most people quit before that happens. They switch goals when they get tired. But if you stay with it, if you stay in the room long enough, the results start to shift in your favor. And from that point on, you're not just working, you're winning. You need to expect resistance. The world will try to pull you off course. You'll be tempted to chase something new. You'll feel fear that you're missing out on other options. But those are illusions. The greatest progress always comes through consistency. It's not about intensity in short bursts. It's about showing up for your one goal every day, regardless of how you feel. That consistency builds trust with yourself. And when you trust yourself, your confidence becomes unshakable. Real freedom doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from knowing what you're here to do, and doing it with relentless focus. When you decide on one priority, you give yourself the gift of direction. Your mind becomes calm, your energy becomes powerful, your time becomes sacred, and that alignment makes you unstoppable. You're no longer reacting to life, you're building it on your terms. That is the reward of commitment. If you're serious about creating something great, stop waiting for the perfect time to commit. Choose your priority now. Write it down, make it clear. Build your day around it. Say no to everything that doesn't serve it, and keep choosing it every single day until it's done. This is how results are made, not through wishing but through deciding. You can't be casual about your future. You have to become devoted to it. One priority, one mission, one daily effort toward the outcome that means the most to you. That is the path, and everything else is noise. Chapter 5. Track your progress daily with full honesty. Progress only becomes real when it is measured with honesty. Without honest tracking, goals remain vague ideas, and improvement becomes guesswork. Every person who has ever built anything lasting knew exactly where they stood each day. They didn't rely on hope, they relied on evidence. Tracking your progress daily with full honesty is the foundation for all self-mastery. It gives you clarity, and clarity gives you control. You cannot change what you refuse to face. You cannot improve what you do not measure. If you want to stay focused on your goal, then you must be brutally honest about what you're doing every single day. Tracking your progress isn't just about recording wins. It's about seeing your behavior clearly. It's about removing the filters and facing yourself as you are. This is where real growth begins. You wake up each day, you take action toward your goal, and at the end of the day, you sit down and ask yourself, did I move forward today? Not did I feel motivated, not did I stay busy, but did I move forward? And if the answer is no, you don't lie to yourself to feel better. You face the truth, and then you make tomorrow count. Most people avoid tracking because it forces them to confront the gap between where they are and where they want to be. But the gap is not the problem. Avoiding the truth is. When you track your actions with honesty, you take back your power. You stop operating in illusion and start living in reality. And reality is where all progress happens. When you track what matters, your habits, your focus, your hours of effort, you start seeing patterns. You realize what's working and what's holding you back. And with that knowledge, you can adjust. Every time you write down what you actually did, not what you planned to do, not what you intended to do, but what you really did, you send a message to yourself that your progress matters. You build self-respect. You become someone who pays attention, and attention is the gateway to discipline. The more honest you are with yourself, the stronger you become, because you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility. That's what separates people who succeed from those who stay stuck. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's the willingness to look at the truth and do something about it. Tracking doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need fancy apps or elaborate systems. You just need a way to record what matters. That could be a notebook where you write what you did each day. It could be a simple checklist of the few habits you've committed to. It could be a scorecard for your focus hours. What matters is that it's consistent, clear, and honest. You're not tracking to impress anyone. You're tracking to hold yourself accountable to your potential. Every time you do that, you strengthen your ability to stay focused and disciplined. One of the biggest benefits of daily tracking is that it creates awareness. Without it, days blur together, a week passes, and you're not sure what you actually accomplished. You feel busy, but you're not sure if you're moving forward. That confusion creates stress. It creates frustration. But when you have a clear record of your actions, you eliminate guesswork. You know where you stand. You see where you need to improve. And you feel momentum when the numbers reflect your effort. That feedback loop fuels motivation. You also learn how to stay consistent under pressure. When life gets hard, when your mood drops, when motivation fades, you can still track. And by doing so, you stay connected to your goal. You don't drift. You don't abandon the process just because the day wasn't perfect. You keep showing up. And often, the simple act of writing down what you did helps you snap back into focus. It reminds you that your actions are what matter, not your feelings. This is where daily discipline is born, not in perfect days, but in persistent self-awareness. Another power of honest tracking is that it eliminates the illusion of progress. Many people confuse effort with effectiveness. They feel like they're working hard, but their actions aren't aligned with their goal. When you track daily, you start to see the difference. You realize that 3 hours of scattered effort isn't as valuable as one focused hour on what truly moves the needle. You begin to refine how you work. You stop doing what looks good and start doing what works. That is how results accelerate. Daily tracking also builds long-term discipline. It's not about judging yourself. It's about building a relationship with your own mind. You become someone who observes your behavior, learns from it, and improves. You're not chasing perfection. You're building awareness, and that awareness is what creates resilience. You learn how to course correct quickly. You learn how to recognize patterns before they become problems. You learn how to manage your time, energy, and attention with precision. That is a superpower in a world full of distraction. There's also something powerful about seeing progress over time, a page filled with completed tasks, a chart showing consistent habits, a journal documenting your focus each day. These small records become a source of pride. They remind you of the effort you've invested. They reinforce your identity as someone who stays committed. And when setbacks come, and they will, you have evidence that you're capable of progress. That evidence gives you the strength to keep going when others would quit. You don't need to track everything. Track what matters. If you're building a business, track your outreach, your deep work hours, your revenue. If you're focused on health, track your workouts, your meals, your sleep. If you're mastering a skill, track your daily practice, your learning sessions, your improvements. What gets tracked improves, but only if you're honest about it. Honesty is the foundation. Without it, tracking becomes a lie you tell yourself. With it, tracking becomes a tool for transformation. There is also a hidden benefit in daily reflection. When you track your actions, you naturally begin to reflect on your choices. You start asking deeper questions. Why did I avoid that task? What pulled me off track? What helped me stay focused? These questions lead to insights. Those insights lead to better decisions, and better decisions lead to better results. This is how self-awareness becomes self-mastery. If you want to stay focused on your goal, you cannot live in denial. You cannot pretend your actions don't matter. You cannot lie to yourself and expect to grow. You must choose to see clearly. You must choose to face the numbers. You must choose to build the habit of truth. This is not about being harsh with yourself. It's about respecting your potential enough to take it seriously. Every evening, sit down and ask yourself, what did I actually do today that moved me forward? What did I avoid? What did I learn? What will I do differently tomorrow? Write it down. Keep it simple. Keep it honest. Over time, this 5-minute practice will change the way you live. It will sharpen your mind. It will focus your actions. It will make you stronger, more disciplined, more consistent. Your future depends on what you do today, and what you do today is shaped by what you measure. So track your progress, track your choices, track your growth, because without tracking, you're not really moving forward. You're just hoping you are, and hope is not a strategy. Truth is, action is, discipline is, and all of it starts with daily honesty. Chapter 6. Create a routine that supports your biggest goal. A routine is not a list of tasks you try to force into your life. A real routine is a structure that reflects your priorities, your purpose, and your values. It is the invisible system that shapes your day and builds the habits that define who you become. If you want to achieve your biggest goal, then your routine must become the backbone of your progress. Without a strong routine, your energy scatters, your focus fades, and your time gets consumed by other people's agendas. But when you design your days around what matters most, you no longer live by accident, you live by intention, and that's the difference between drifting and rising. The first step in building a routine that supports your biggest goal is knowing exactly what that goal demands. Every goal has a price, and that price is paid in consistent action. If your goal is to write a book, then your routine must include writing time. If your goal is to grow a business, then your routine must include focused hours on high-leverage tasks. If your goal is to transform your body, then your routine must reflect disciplined eating, training, and rest. Your routine should never be built around comfort or randomness. It must be built around the actions that create real results. Many people try to copy the routines of successful people without understanding why those routines work. But a routine is not powerful because it's trendy. It's powerful because it aligns your behavior with your mission. You can't borrow discipline, you have to build it. That starts by choosing a few daily actions that directly move your life forward and committing to doing them at the same time each day, no matter how you feel. The strength of your routine is not measured by how perfect it looks on paper, it's measured by how well it holds up on difficult days. Start your routine with a strong morning. The first hour of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Don't begin with distraction. Begin with intention. Create space for clarity. Check in with your goal. Remind yourself what matters. Get your mind focused before the world tries to steal your attention. That early space is sacred. Use it to ground yourself. Use it to prepare your mind and body for real work. Don't rush into noise. Begin with purpose, and your day will unfold with more control and energy. Next, block time for deep work, the kind of work that demands your full focus. This is where real progress happens. It's not enough to stay busy. You must stay intentional. Block time for the actions that directly support your biggest goal. Don't leave them to chance. Protect those hours like they're gold, because they are. They are the hours that build your future. Turn off distractions. Say no to interruptions. Dive in fully. 1 hour of focused effort is worth 10 hours of scattered attention. Don't overpack your schedule. Simplicity is power. A routine overloaded with tasks you can't maintain will collapse under pressure. The best routines are lean, flexible, and focused. They have room for deep work, recovery, and real-life demands. They don't pretend that you can do everything. They help you do the most important thing well and consistently. Choose 1 or 2 anchor habits, actions that create momentum for your entire day, and structure everything else around them. This could be your morning workout, your daily planning session, or your focused work sprint. Let those habits set the rhythm of your life. Be ruthless about removing what doesn't support your goal. Not every task belongs in your routine. Some things might feel urgent, but aren't important. Some habits may feel productive, but actually distract you. Audit your day. Notice where your time goes. Identify the patterns that pull you off track, then adjust. If your phone is stealing your focus, move it out of reach during work blocks. If your mornings feel rushed, wake up earlier and simplify your start. If certain people constantly disrupt your flow, set boundaries. Every small change adds up. A good routine is not just about what you do, it's about what you remove. Consistency is the glue that holds your routine together. It's easy to be disciplined for a day. What matters is what you repeat. What you repeat becomes automatic. That's how habits form. At first, routines require effort, but over time they become second nature. Your body knows when to move. Your mind knows when to focus. You no longer have to negotiate with yourself. You just do it because it's who you are. And that identity shift is everything. You stop chasing motivation and start relying on structure. Every evening, review your day. Did your routine serve your goal? Where did you stay strong? Where did you slip? This reflection sharpens your awareness and helps you make small improvements. A powerful routine is not rigid. It evolves with you. As your goals grow, your routine must grow too. Stay flexible, but never lose your focus. Adjust the details, but never compromise the discipline. Your routine should support not just your goal, but your well-being. Rest and recovery are part of the process. Burnout is not a badge of honor. It's a sign of poor design. Build in breaks. Schedule downtime. Honor your sleep. Energy fuels focus, and focus drives progress. You are not a machine. You are a human being on a mission. Treat your body and mind with the care they deserve. A routine that leads to exhaustion is a routine that won't last. Remember, your environment shapes your behavior. Set up your space to support your routine. If you work from home, create a focused area free from clutter. If you want to read more, keep a book by your bed. If you want to eat better, stock your kitchen with quality food. Small environmental cues make a big difference. Don't rely on willpower. Make your routine easy to follow by setting yourself up for success. Most people wait until they feel ready to change, but readiness is not the goal. Action is. You don't need to feel perfectly motivated to build a routine. You just need to start. Choose a few key actions that support your biggest goal. Put them in your calendar. Commit to them daily. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. That's good. That's a sign that you're growing. Stick with it. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for progress. And let the structure you build carry you forward, especially on the days when motivation fades. A strong routine gives you freedom. It removes decision fatigue. It helps you act without hesitation. It keeps your energy focused where it belongs. And it reminds you every day that you are in control of your direction. You don't need 100 different strategies. You need one routine that you live with full commitment, one system that supports your goal, one structure that you repeat until it becomes a part of you. Your routine is your rhythm. It's how you align your life with your purpose. It's how you show the world that your dreams matter. So build it with care, defend it with discipline, refine it with awareness, and live it with full intention. When your days reflect your deepest priorities, you become unstoppable, not because life gets easier, but because you become stronger, clearer, and more focused. The goal doesn't change you, the routine does, and that is how you win, one focused day at a time. Chapter 7. Train your mind to reject all excuses instantly. Most people fail, not because they lack talent or potential, but because they believe their own excuses. They convince themselves that they'll start tomorrow, that conditions aren't right, that they need more time or motivation. These excuses feel true in the moment, but they are lies dressed as logic. They don't protect your future, they destroy it. Every excuse you believe is a decision to delay your growth. And every time you delay, you weaken your momentum. If you want to stay focused on your goal, you must develop the mental discipline to reject every excuse the moment it appears, not after you've entertained it, not after you've reasoned with it, but instantly and firmly without negotiation. Training your mind to reject excuses is not about becoming harsh or robotic. It's about refusing to surrender your power. The mind is a master at self-justification. It will always offer reasons to stay comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of progress. The goal isn't to feel good, it's to become strong. Strength doesn't come from avoiding challenges, it comes from facing resistance and acting anyway. Every excuse is a test of how badly you want it. Most people talk about goals, but their actions are ruled by comfort. The few who rise above don't wait until they feel ready. They act in spite of discomfort. That's what separates discipline from regret. The first step to mastering your mind is awareness. You must recognize the excuses as soon as they start to form. They often show up in familiar phrases. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. I'll do it later. I'm not in the mood. These are not facts. They are mental habits. If you're not careful, you will obey them without question. But when you bring awareness to them, you create a gap between the thought and the reaction. In that gap is your power. That's the moment where you either choose discipline or delay. To break the pattern, you must interrupt it early and often. Once you notice an excuse rising, label it for what it is. Say it silently to yourself. That's an excuse, not a reason, not a truth, just an excuse. This simple naming separates you from the thought. It helps you regain control. The goal is to stop identifying with every thought your mind throws at you. You are not your excuses. You are the observer, and the observer has the authority to choose a different response. Naming the excuse takes away its strength. It turns a reflex into a decision, and that decision belongs to you. Excuses thrive in emotion. They feed on tiredness, boredom, fear, and frustration. To reject them, you must strengthen your relationship with discomfort. Most people try to avoid difficult feelings, but progress lives in those uncomfortable moments. When you feel tired, lean in a little longer. When doubt whispers, move anyway. When fear rises, act through it. Each time you choose action over escape, you rewire your mind. You train it to prioritize growth over relief. And over time, this becomes your new identity, someone who follows through regardless of how they feel. You don't need to eliminate all excuses forever. You need to win one moment at a time, just the next choice, just this action. That's how mental strength is built, through repetition. The more often you reject an excuse and follow through anyway, the easier it becomes. Not because life is easier, but because your mind is sharper. You've conditioned it to respond with action instead of avoidance. That kind of mental training compounds, and eventually excuses lose their power over you. It helps to remind yourself what's at stake. Every excuse costs you time. Every delay steals progress. Every compromise weakens your confidence. You can't build a strong life on weak choices. When you give in to an excuse, you teach yourself that comfort matters more than commitment. But when you reject it, you strengthen your discipline. You prove to yourself that your word means something, and that proof builds trust in yourself. That self-trust becomes the foundation of long-term confidence and focus. Accountability is a powerful tool in this process. If you find yourself making the same excuse repeatedly, share your commitment with someone you respect. Not for validation, but for clarity. Knowing someone else expects you to follow through removes the space for excuses. It forces you to rise to the level of your promise. Choose people who won't let you off the hook. Surround yourself with those who reflect your highest standards, not your lowest moods. You also need a clear vision of what your goal means to you. A vague or shallow goal gives you room to justify inaction, but a goal rooted in deep meaning leaves no space for excuses. Why does your goal matter? What will it cost you if you quit? What will your life look like in 1 year if you don't follow through? Ask the hard questions. Face the consequences. Let the truth fuel your urgency. When the purpose is strong enough, you stop looking for reasons to wait. You start finding reasons to push. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about remembering who you said you wanted to become. Every excuse is a chance to forget that. Every act of discipline is a way to remember. You are training your mind with every decision. Either you reinforce excuses or you reinforce action. There is no neutral. You are always building a habit, either of quitting or of continuing. Choose wisely. If you struggle with rejecting excuses, simplify your system. Reduce the number of decisions you need to make. Create routines that trigger action automatically. Prepare your environment in advance. Make the good choice the easy choice. Don't rely on willpower alone. Build systems that support follow-through. Set deadlines. Use timers. Break tasks into smaller parts. Make it easier to act than to avoid. Over time, these simple changes make excuses irrelevant. You don't need to feel like doing it. You need to do it until it feels natural. Emotions are temporary. Actions create lasting results. Stop waiting for motivation. Start training your mind to respond with movement. Don't give yourself time to hesitate. Count down from 5 and go. Move your body. Open the notebook. Make the call. Just begin. Action creates momentum, and momentum silences excuses. Excuses may still whisper, but they no longer control you because you've chosen a different identity. You've decided that your word means more than your mood, that your future matters more than your comfort, that your life will be shaped not by the thoughts you entertain, but by the actions you take. That decision, repeated daily, changes everything. When you train your mind to reject every excuse instantly, you become dangerous to your old patterns. You stop negotiating with fear. You stop making peace with delay. You stop letting weakness speak louder than your goals. You become someone who acts with clarity and consistency, even when no one is watching. And that kind of discipline makes you unstoppable, because it's not just what you do, it's who you become. Chapter 8. Surround yourself with people who demand greatness. The people you spend your time with shape the person you become more than any other influence in your life. Their habits, their standards, their mindset, their expectations, all of these slowly mold your identity, whether you realize it or not. If you want to stay focused on your goal, it is not enough to rely only on your willpower or your ambition. You must be surrounded by people who live with purpose, people who think in terms of growth, people who challenge you when you're slacking, and people who won't allow you to play small. You need voices around you that remind you of who you are becoming, not who you used to be. You need to create an environment of excellence that pulls you upward. If you walk with people who hold themselves to a high standard, you will rise to meet it. If you stay around people who make excuses, complain, or settle for less, you'll eventually join them. Choosing the right people is a responsibility, not a convenience. You don't owe your future to people who hold you back. You don't need to explain yourself to those who don't share your values. If someone in your life constantly pulls your attention away from your focus, makes you feel guilty for working hard, or distracts you with negativity, you need to create space. That doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care enough about your mission to protect it. You cannot walk a path of discipline and focus while being surrounded by distraction and mediocrity. You don't rise by accident, you rise by association. Every person in your circle is either fueling your fire or draining it. Some people push you to sharpen your edge, while others make it easier for you to go dull. It's not just about what they say, it's about how they live. Do they follow through on their word? Do they strive to grow even when it's hard? Do they hold themselves accountable to their values? The best people to be around don't just motivate you with words, they inspire you through example. Their presence makes you want to aim higher. They don't tolerate laziness. They don't celebrate shortcuts. They remind you that greatness is possible, and they expect you to rise to it. You need people who call out your blind spots, not to judge you, but to help you stay awake. When you start slipping into distraction, they remind you of what you said you wanted. When you start justifying delay, they remind you of the cost. This kind of accountability is rare, and it may be uncomfortable, but it's one of the most powerful tools for personal growth. If everyone around you is always agreeing with you, you're probably in the wrong room. You don't need comfort from your circle. You need challenge, honesty, and encouragement rooted in truth. Look at the people you speak to most often. What do they talk about? What do they care about? What do they believe is possible? Their mindset is contagious. If they're focused on gossip, distractions, and problems, your energy will reflect that. If they're focused on solutions, growth, and responsibility, your mindset will rise to meet theirs. Surrounding yourself with people who demand greatness is not about status, it's about standards. It's about choosing people who are driven to become more and who expect you to do the same. Sometimes the people who demand the most from you are the ones who love you the most. They're not interested in your comfort. They're invested in your growth. They challenge your limits because they see your potential. They don't let you get away with excuses because they know what you're capable of. It might feel uncomfortable in the moment, but that discomfort is a gift. It's a reminder that you're meant for more, and someone else is willing to remind you when you forget. Don't run from these people. Learn from them. Grow with them. Thank them for seeing something in you that you were about to ignore. You must also learn to become that person for others. The more you expect greatness from yourself, the more you'll start expecting it from those around you. You'll stop tolerating half-effort. You'll stop accepting laziness in the name of kindness. You'll start encouraging discipline and clarity and focus, not with judgment, but with strength. The people who are serious about their goals will respect you for it. They'll be drawn to your energy, and together you'll create a culture of excellence that feeds on progress. This kind of community changes everything. When you're surrounded by people who show up for their dreams every day, it becomes normal to do the same. If you don't yet have people like this in your life, start looking, seek them out, go where they are. Join spaces where people talk about growth, discipline, learning, and goals. It could be online communities, workshops, masterminds, or local events. Pay attention to who is consistent, who follows through, who shares values with you. Reach out, build relationships with intention, show up with humility and strength, and remember, it's not about finding perfect people, it's about finding people who are serious about becoming better. You might lose some relationships along the way. That's part of the process. When you grow, not everyone will understand. Some people will feel threatened by your discipline. Some will try to pull you back to who you were. That's okay. You're not responsible for shrinking yourself to fit the comfort zones of others. You are responsible for honoring the life you know you're meant to live. Trust that as you become more focused and driven, the right people will align with you and the wrong ones will fall away. Let them. Your environment is either helping you or hurting you. It's either reminding you of your goals or distracting you from them. It's either raising your standards or lowering them. If you want to stay focused, this is not optional. You must be intentional about who you allow to shape your mindset. You must be ruthless about protecting your energy, because every great achievement is built on momentum, and nothing kills momentum faster than the wrong influence. This doesn't mean you isolate yourself. It means you choose your inner circle wisely. You choose people who want the best for you and will challenge you to rise to it. You choose people who show up even when it's hard. You choose people who don't just talk but act, who don't just hope but build, who don't just want comfort but crave growth. When you walk with people like this, you stop doubting yourself. You stop delaying your future. You stop letting distractions win. You start becoming the kind of person who finishes what they start. It's not just about achieving your goal. It's about who you become along the way, and who you become is always influenced by the people you walk with. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with people who push you to be sharper, stronger, more focused. The kind of people who remind you what discipline looks like. The kind of people who make you feel proud to work harder. The kind of people who are so committed to their own path that you can't help but be inspired. This kind of circle isn't found, it's built, one connection at a time, one honest conversation at a time, one shared standard at a time. Build it, honor it, and protect it with everything you've got, because your future depends on it. Chapter 9. Break your goal into small daily action steps. Big goals often feel overwhelming because they seem distant and massive, like a mountain towering in the distance. The way to conquer that mountain is not by trying to leap to the top, but by focusing on each step you take forward. Breaking your goal into small daily action steps is the most effective way to create lasting progress. When you shrink a big ambition into manageable pieces, you gain clarity, reduce anxiety, and build momentum that carries you forward naturally. Each day offers an opportunity to take one more small step toward what matters most. These steps are not about making grand gestures, but consistent, purposeful moves. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or a surge of motivation, commit to small, deliberate actions that move you closer. This approach grounds your ambition in reality. It makes progress tangible and prevents you from feeling paralyzed by the vastness of your goal. When you break your goal down, you shift your focus from someday to today. That change in mindset is powerful because the present moment is where change happens. You learn to ask yourself every morning, what small action can I take today that aligns with my ultimate goal? This question creates daily discipline. It turns vague dreams into concrete tasks. It turns hope into habit. Small steps build confidence. Every time you accomplish a task, no matter how minor, your brain releases a sense of achievement. This fuels your motivation and builds belief in your ability to reach the larger goal. Progress becomes visible, and progress creates energy. The key is to ensure that every action is directly connected to your goal. Random busy work won't do. The steps must be intentional and focused. Breaking your goal into daily actions also helps protect against overwhelm. When you focus only on the big picture, it's easy to feel stuck or doubtful. You might question whether you have what it takes, or if the goal is even possible. But when your attention is on the next small step, the pressure lifts. You become someone who works consistently and patiently. You become someone who moves steadily forward, no matter the obstacles. To begin, write down your ultimate goal in clear, specific terms. Then ask yourself what must happen for that goal to become reality. Identify the major milestones along the way, and from those milestones, break down tasks into daily or weekly chunks. For example, if your goal is to write a book, a daily action might be writing 300 words or revising one page. If your goal is to get fit, your daily step could be a 20-minute workout or preparing healthy meals. It's essential to prioritize these daily actions. Not all steps carry the same weight. Some days you will do small tasks that support progress, while other days require a bigger effort. Recognize that progress is not always linear, but every step counts. Be kind to yourself when things don't go perfectly. What matters is returning to your daily practice. Consistency outweighs perfection every time. Tracking your daily actions can also boost your focus. When you see a record of what you have done, it reinforces your commitment and accountability. This practice makes you aware of patterns, strengths, and areas for improvement. It keeps you honest with yourself and encourages you to keep moving forward, even when motivation wanes. One of the biggest traps when breaking down goals is losing sight of why the goal matters in the first place. Small steps can feel mundane or tedious if you forget the bigger purpose. To prevent this, remind yourself often of your deeper why. Connect each daily action to the impact it will have on your life, your family, or your legacy. When the why is strong, the what becomes easier. Taking small actions also trains your mind to focus on what you can control instead of what you can't. You cannot control how long your journey will take, who will support you, or when opportunity will knock, but you can control the next step. This mindset builds resilience because it grounds you in personal responsibility and action. It turns uncertainty into productive focus. Breaking your goal into daily actions transforms a distant dream into a daily habit. Habits form the foundation of lasting change. When you repeat a behavior regularly, it becomes automatic, reducing the mental energy required. This frees your mind to solve problems, be creative, and stay motivated. Small actions are the seeds from which habits grow. When you develop the discipline to focus on daily actions, you also train your patience. You learn to wait for results without giving up. You understand that meaningful growth takes time, and that each day's work is a step toward mastery. This patience keeps you from chasing shortcuts or quick fixes that ultimately undermine your progress. It's important to celebrate the completion of your daily actions, no matter how small they seem. Celebrating progress keeps your momentum strong and your spirit engaged. It reinforces a positive feedback loop that motivates you to keep going. The small victories add up to big wins over time. Breaking your goal into small daily action steps also fosters flexibility. Life will throw challenges and unexpected demands your way. When your goal is anchored in daily actions, you can adapt without losing sight of your purpose. If you miss a step one day, you simply pick it up the next. The journey is about steady progress, not perfect execution. Each day's action becomes a building block that shapes your identity. Over time, you stop seeing yourself as someone with a distant goal and start seeing yourself as someone who works toward it every day. This identity shift is crucial because it changes how you approach obstacles, setbacks, and temptations. You become a person who perseveres by habit. This approach also eliminates the excuse of waiting for motivation. Motivation is unpredictable and often unreliable. When you commit to small daily steps, you build discipline that carries you even when motivation fades. You learn to act first and trust that motivation will follow. The small steps method forces you to focus deeply on what matters most. It weeds out distractions, unnecessary tasks, and wasted time. It helps you build a daily rhythm where every action has purpose. This rhythm is the heartbeat of your focus and determination. Breaking your goal down also encourages reflection. As you complete daily steps, take time regularly to assess your progress. Ask yourself what worked well, what didn't, and what adjustments you can make. Reflection turns busy work into strategic work and keeps your efforts aligned with your ultimate vision. Another benefit of breaking goals into daily actions is it builds momentum that fuels confidence. Each completed step is proof that you are capable of progress. This momentum carries you through difficult times and reminds you that the journey is possible. Finally, this approach reminds you that success is a collection of consistent actions over time. No matter how big or small the step, it contributes to the greater whole. The journey to your goal is not a sprint, but a marathon of deliberate, focused actions. By breaking your goal into daily steps, you take control of your progress and build a foundation for lasting achievement. In the end, your ability to stay focused depends largely on how you manage the path to your goal. When you break your goal into small daily steps, you build clarity, discipline, resilience, and momentum. You become someone who shows up every day ready to take action. That daily commitment is the key that unlocks the door to your success. Stay patient, stay consistent, and let each small step bring you closer to the life you are working to create. Chapter 10. Build a habit of doing the hard things first. Doing the hard things first is one of the most powerful habits anyone can develop. It sets the tone for your entire day and trains your mind to embrace challenge instead of avoid it. When you prioritize the difficult tasks, you're not just getting those tasks done, you're building mental strength, discipline, and resilience. These qualities carry over into every part of your life, making it easier to stay focused on your goals and push through obstacles. Hard tasks tend to weigh on our minds because they require effort, courage, or discomfort. It's natural to want to delay or avoid them, but delaying the hardest part only creates stress and drains your energy. The longer you put off tough work, the more it looms over you, distracting your attention and sapping your motivation. Tackling the hardest tasks first removes this weight early. You gain a sense of accomplishment and clarity that propels you forward. Starting your day by doing what's difficult sends a clear message to your brain that you're in control. It rewires your mental habits so that discomfort becomes less intimidating. Over time, your resistance to challenge fades, and you develop a mindset that welcomes growth through struggle. This habit transforms obstacles into opportunities for improvement. By addressing the hard things first, you also protect your willpower. Willpower is a limited resource that depletes as the day goes on. If you leave difficult tasks for later, your energy might be too low to handle them effectively. Starting with these tasks when your focus is fresh ensures they get the attention they deserve and that you approach them with maximum clarity. The habit of doing hard things first creates a momentum effect. The sense of victory from completing tough work early energizes you for the rest of the day. This momentum reduces procrastination because you've already proven to yourself that you can overcome resistance. It's a psychological boost that keeps you moving forward. Building this habit requires clear intention and planning. It starts by identifying which tasks in your day are truly difficult. These might be activities you tend to avoid, decisions you dread making, or work that challenges your skills. Once identified, commit to addressing these tasks before anything else. This may require changing your daily schedule or resisting the temptation to check email or social media first. Discipline is necessary to follow through on this habit, especially in the beginning. Your mind will resist because it prefers comfort and ease. Push through this resistance by focusing on your bigger purpose. Remind yourself that growth happens outside of your comfort zone and that the rewards of doing hard things first outweigh temporary discomfort. The benefits of this habit extend beyond productivity. You build character by consistently choosing what is difficult over what is easy. This builds self-trust and confidence, qualities that empower you to handle unexpected challenges with grace. You become someone who faces problems head-on instead of running away. Doing the hard things first also sharpens your decision-making. When you take on difficult work early, you clarify what's truly important. You learn to prioritize tasks that have real impact instead of getting lost in busy work. This clarity frees your time and energy for what moves you closer to your goals. It's helpful to break down hard tasks into smaller steps to make starting easier. Often the hardest part is simply beginning. When you divide a challenging task into manageable pieces, you lower the mental barrier to action. Starting with a small specific step builds confidence and creates forward momentum. Accountability can support building this habit. Share your commitment with someone who respects your goals. Regular check-ins help keep you honest and motivated. When others expect you to take on your hard tasks early, it becomes easier to resist excuses and distractions. The habit of doing hard things first also develops patience. Not every difficult task will have immediate rewards. Sometimes the payoff is delayed or gradual. By consistently facing hard work head-on, you cultivate endurance and a long-term perspective that keeps you steady through setbacks. Embracing this habit changes how you view challenges in general. They become opportunities to learn and grow rather than threats to avoid. This shift in perspective is essential for staying focused on your goal because it turns difficulties into fuel instead of obstacles. It's important to celebrate the completion of hard tasks. Recognize the effort and courage it takes to face discomfort. This positive reinforcement strengthens your resolve and builds a habit loop that encourages you to continue acting despite difficulty. Over time, doing the hard things first reshapes your daily rhythm. Your mornings become a time of purpose and strength rather than distraction or delay. This rhythm creates a foundation for sustained focus throughout your day and your journey toward your goal. This habit also fosters resilience in the face of failure or setbacks. When you are used to doing hard things, disappointments become learning experiences rather than reasons to quit. You learn to adjust your approach, get back on track, and continue moving forward. Remember that not all hard things are created equal. Some may require physical effort, others emotional courage or mental focus. Identify the nature of the challenge and prepare yourself accordingly. Develop strategies such as deep breathing, mindfulness, or brief breaks to maintain stamina. Avoid the trap of confusing busy work with hard tasks. Some people fill their days with tasks that feel urgent, but don't contribute to their real goals. Prioritize tasks that push you out of your comfort zone and advance your purpose. This focus prevents burnout and keeps your energy directed where it matters most. The habit of doing hard things first also teaches you how to manage your energy wisely. Hard tasks require energy, so pairing them with adequate rest, nutrition, and exercise enhances your capacity. Taking care of your body supports mental toughness and discipline. When resistance arises, observe it without judgment and remind yourself of the benefits of taking action. Use internal dialogue that encourages courage and commitment rather than self-criticism. This mental approach reinforces your ability to face hard work with a steady mind. Building this habit leads to greater self-awareness. You begin to notice patterns in your procrastination or avoidance. This awareness is a tool for change because it allows you to intervene consciously rather than react impulsively. As you practice doing hard things first, you develop a mindset that views effort as essential to achievement. This mindset aligns with the discipline required to stay focused on your goals over the long term. It helps you resist distractions, excuses, and the urge to settle for comfort. This habit is a form of self-mastery. By choosing to act on what is difficult first, you reclaim your power from laziness, fear, or doubt. You become the driver of your own progress rather than a passenger waiting for conditions to be perfect. Start small if needed. If jumping into the hardest task immediately feels too daunting, begin by tackling the moderately difficult ones first. Build confidence gradually and expand your capacity. Each success reinforces your ability to take on more challenging work. Over time, you'll notice that what once felt hard becomes easier, your skills improve, your confidence grows, and your mental barriers lower. This transformation is evidence of your progress and a motivation to keep pushing. Doing hard things first is not about punishment or hardship for its own sake. It's about training your mind and body to perform at their best when it counts. It's about aligning your actions with your highest goals and values. This habit creates a foundation for excellence in any area of life. This practice also shapes your character by cultivating courage, patience, and persistence. These qualities become part of who you are, influencing your relationships, work, and personal growth. In the end, building a habit of doing the hard things first is one of the most effective ways to stay focused on your goals. It clears the path for progress, strengthens your mindset, and empowers you to face life's challenges without hesitation. Commit to this habit daily and watch how your capacity for success expands beyond what you thought possible. Chapter 11. Review your goals before you go to sleep. The quiet moments before sleep offer a unique opportunity to align the mind with your deepest intentions. Reviewing your goals before going to bed is a powerful practice that strengthens your focus and prepares your subconscious to work on what truly matters while you rest. This simple but profound habit fosters clarity, motivation, and resilience in ways that spill over into every part of your life. Nighttime is not just for rest. It's a chance to reinforce your commitment and sharpen your vision. When you intentionally reflect on your goals before sleep, you are planting seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. This part of your mind continues to process information, solve problems, and form new neural connections while you are unconscious. By directing your focus toward your objectives in these moments, you invite your inner self to work behind the scenes on your behalf. Reviewing your goals at night also allows for honest self-assessment. It's a time to look back on what you accomplished during the day without judgment and consider where you might improve. This reflection cultivates accountability, which is essential for progress. It encourages you to acknowledge both your successes and setbacks and to learn from each experience. This kind of clear-eyed evaluation builds discipline and self-awareness, two pillars of lasting achievement. The ritual of revisiting your goals before sleep also strengthens emotional connection to your purpose. When you engage with your aspirations at day's end, you evoke feelings of determination and hope that settle into your heart. These emotions act like fuel, sustaining you through challenges. The emotional charge attached to your goals makes them more compelling and urgent in your mind, increasing the likelihood that you will take purposeful action the following day. This habit helps quiet the mind, preventing it from wandering into distractions or worries that often plague the evening hours. When your thoughts are anchored in your goals, your mind is less likely to spiral into unproductive concerns or fears. Instead, it rests in a state of constructive focus, which improves the quality of your sleep and primes your brain for productive thinking upon waking. To make this practice effective, it's important to create a consistent, distraction-free environment. Turn off devices, dim the lights, and settle into a comfortable position where you can concentrate. Approach this moment with a sense of reverence, recognizing that it is an act of respect toward your dreams and yourself. As you review your goals, visualize the specific steps you want to take tomorrow. Picture yourself moving through your tasks with confidence and determination. This mental rehearsal builds familiarity and reduces resistance, making it easier to start strong in the morning. Visualization is a bridge between intention and action, and bedtime offers a perfect opportunity to cross it. Writing down your reflections can deepen this process. Keeping a journal by your bedside to note your thoughts about progress, challenges, and next steps externalizes your commitment. The act of writing helps organize your mind, clarifies priorities, and serves as a record of your journey. This record provides motivation as you look back and see how far you have come. In the moments before sleep, your mindset can either build or erode your confidence. Dwelling on failures or doubts sows seeds of discouragement that can fester overnight. Instead, focus on solutions, growth, and the possibilities ahead. This positive framing conditions your mind to expect success, creating a powerful psychological advantage. This practice also builds resilience. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. Reviewing your goals nightly reminds you of your why, the deeper purpose behind your efforts. When challenges arise, this purpose acts like a compass, keeping you oriented and committed. The strength drawn from this nightly ritual helps you bounce back from disappointments and maintain steady progress. Incorporating gratitude into your review enhances its power. Acknowledge the small wins, the lessons learned, and the resources you have. Gratitude fosters a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity, reducing anxiety and increasing your ability to focus. This perspective shift is crucial for long-term motivation and well-being. The habit of reviewing your goals before sleep also creates a natural transition from the busyness of the day to restful peace. It signals to your mind that the day's work is done and that you are preparing for tomorrow's challenges with intention. This transition supports mental balance and prevents burnout, making your pursuit sustainable. Over time, this practice becomes a source of wisdom. You begin to notice patterns when you are most productive, what distracts you, how your energy fluctuates. This insight enables you to optimize your approach, adjusting habits and schedules to align with your natural rhythms and maximize effectiveness. The benefits of this habit extend beyond personal goals. It improves your overall decision-making by sharpening your awareness of priorities. You develop a clearer sense of what deserves your attention and what can be set aside. This clarity simplifies daily choices, reducing stress and increasing efficiency. This habit also cultivates patience. Progress toward meaningful goals often unfolds slowly and unevenly. By consistently reviewing your goals, you remind yourself that each step, no matter how small, contributes to the larger picture. This perspective helps maintain focus during periods when visible results are limited. In essence, reviewing your goals before you sleep is a daily act of self-respect and intentional living. It honors your ambitions and harnesses the quiet power of the mind's twilight hours to strengthen your commitment. This practice transforms the way you approach your journey, making every day a deliberate step toward the life you desire. Commit to this habit with consistency and sincerity. Let it become a cornerstone of your routine, a sacred moment where your goals are reaffirmed and your spirit recharged. Through this nightly reflection, your focus sharpens, your motivation deepens, and your path forward becomes unmistakably clear. Chapter 12. Protect your energy by guarding your daily input. Every moment of your day you receive countless inputs, words, images, sounds, and thoughts that shape your mental and emotional energy. Protecting your energy means taking deliberate control over what you allow into your mind and body, because these inputs directly influence your focus, mood, and productivity. Guarding your daily input is not about avoiding the world, but choosing consciously what feeds your spirit and what drains it. Energy is the fundamental resource that powers all your efforts toward your goals. When you protect it, you enhance your ability to stay focused, make better decisions, and persevere through challenges. When you allow negative, distracting, or irrelevant input to flood your day, your energy becomes scattered and depleted. This leads to frustration, burnout, and a weakening of your commitment to your dreams. Begin by becoming aware of where your energy goes each day. Notice the conversations you engage in, the media you consume, the environments you enter, and the thoughts you entertain. Recognize that not all input serves your purpose. Some of it silently steals your vitality. Awareness is the first step toward protecting your energy, because you cannot guard what you do not see. Social media, news, entertainment, and even certain relationships can often introduce unnecessary noise and negativity into your mind. These influences can trigger stress, fear, comparison, or self-doubt, all of which drain your focus and motivation. Deciding to limit or curate these sources is a powerful way to shield your energy. Choose content that inspires, educates, or uplifts, and avoid what drags you down or confuses your priorities. Your inner dialogue, the thoughts you allow to play repeatedly in your mind, also counts as vital input. Guard this internal conversation fiercely. Replace doubts, complaints, and excuses with empowering affirmations and realistic plans. Train your mind to reject thoughts that steal your energy and instead focus on those that strengthen your resolve and creativity. The people you spend time with are among the most significant inputs into your daily energy. Surround yourself with individuals who elevate you, challenge you constructively, and hold you accountable. Distance yourself from those who breed negativity, laziness, or distraction. Relationships that drain your enthusiasm can sabotage even the best intentions. Physical environment impacts energy profoundly. Cluttered, noisy, or chaotic surroundings often scatter your focus and tire your spirit. Creating a clean, organized, and peaceful workspace or living area supports mental clarity and helps conserve energy for your priorities. Small adjustments like better lighting, fresh air, or removing distractions can have outsized effects. Setting boundaries is essential in protecting your energy. Learn to say no to requests, activities, or habits that consume your time and attention without advancing your goals. Boundaries preserve your time and focus, creating a container in which your energy can flow efficiently toward what matters most. Saying no is not selfish, it is a disciplined act of self-care. Recognize the role of rest and nutrition as inputs that sustain your energy. Your mind and body require fuel and recovery to operate at their best. Neglecting sleep, proper food, or exercise drains energy reserves, making it harder to stay focused. Prioritize habits that nourish you physically so you can bring your full capacity to your goals. Mindfulness practices can also help you protect your energy. By regularly checking in with your mental and emotional state, you can catch early signs of overwhelm or distraction and respond proactively. Techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, or brief pauses allow you to reset and reclaim your focus when inputs become overwhelming. Consider creating rituals that help regulate the quality of your daily input. This might include limiting screen time, designating moments for intentional reading or learning, or scheduling quiet periods for reflection. Rituals build structure around your energy and make guarding your input a natural part of your routine rather than an occasional effort. Your choices about what to consume mentally and emotionally determine the direction and speed of your progress. Input that inspires creativity, persistence, and clarity propels you forward, while input that feeds fear, confusion, or distraction holds you back. Guarding your energy is about choosing to invite only what supports the best version of yourself. The power of intention plays a key role here. Begin each day by consciously deciding what kinds of input you will allow and what you will reject. This intentional filtering empowers you to control your energy rather than letting it be hijacked by external chaos or internal turmoil. It also reinforces your identity as someone who respects and protects their most valuable resource. Energy is finite, and where it flows grows. By consciously directing your energy toward constructive input, you nurture the habits, attitudes, and knowledge that support your goals. This cultivates momentum and resilience, making it easier to overcome obstacles and maintain consistent effort. Protecting your energy is a continuous process. New distractions and challenges arise regularly, requiring renewed vigilance and adjustments. Staying flexible and adaptable while maintaining firm boundaries helps you respond effectively to changing circumstances without losing focus. Ultimately, protecting your energy is an act of mastery over your inner world. It strengthens your capacity to direct your attention, take consistent action, and build a life aligned with your deepest goals. By guarding your daily input, you create the mental and emotional environment necessary for sustained focus and success. This practice honors your responsibility to yourself and your ambitions. It demands discipline, clarity, and courage to say no to what does not serve you. Yet the reward is a life fueled by purpose, clarity, and steady progress toward what truly matters. Choose wisely what enters your mind and heart each day. Protect your energy with the same care you protect your time and resources. In doing so, you empower yourself to stay focused, perform at your best, and realize your greatest potential. Chapter 13. Celebrate small wins to keep momentum strong. Progress is rarely a sudden leap. It is a steady climb, made up of countless small steps taken consistently over time. Each small achievement, no matter how modest it appears, is a building block in the foundation of greater success. Recognizing and celebrating these small wins is essential because it fuels the motivation to keep moving forward when the end goal still feels distant. Without acknowledgement of progress, it's easy to become discouraged, to lose sight of how far you've come, and to feel overwhelmed by the road that lies ahead. Celebrating small wins is not about indulging in vanity or complacency. It is an intentional practice that honors effort, reinforces positive habits, and strengthens your belief in your own capability. When you stop to appreciate the small victories, you create a positive feedback loop that energizes your spirit and sharpens your focus. This momentum is a powerful force that keeps you resilient and committed even when obstacles arise. The human brain is wired to seek rewards. When you recognize your progress, your brain releases dopamine, a chemical that creates feelings of satisfaction and pleasure. This biochemical reward strengthens your drive to repeat the behaviors that led to success. Over time, celebrating small wins rewires your mind to associate discipline and effort with positive feelings, making it easier to maintain consistency and overcome challenges. Small wins also provide clear evidence that your strategy is working. When progress is measured in tangible milestones, you gain insight into what methods are effective and where adjustments might be necessary. Without these checkpoints, it's easy to wander aimlessly, doubting your direction or losing confidence. Acknowledging small wins can be as simple as pausing for a moment of reflection or recording your progress in a journal. Writing down accomplishments, no matter how minor, creates a visible trail of evidence that your efforts are bearing fruit. This record can be reviewed on tough days to remind yourself of the capabilities you've already demonstrated. Another way to celebrate is by sharing your victories with people who support and inspire you. When others witness your progress, their encouragement and recognition add fuel to your fire. Being accountable to a community of like-minded individuals strengthens your commitment and creates a network of positive reinforcement. Celebration doesn't have to mean grand gestures. It can be as modest as taking a moment to savor the satisfaction of a task completed, or treating yourself to a brief break to enjoy something you love. These small rituals acknowledge your effort and allow your mind and body to recharge, preparing you for the next challenge ahead. It is important to celebrate progress without losing sight of the bigger picture. Gratitude for small wins should coexist with an unwavering commitment to the ultimate goal. This balance prevents complacency and keeps your eyes on the prize while appreciating the journey. The best way to sustain momentum is to use celebrations as fuel, not as a finish line. Small wins also build confidence. Success, even in tiny doses, fosters a sense of competence and self-trust. When you consistently achieve small goals, you reinforce your identity as someone capable of following through. This growing confidence can overcome the fear and hesitation that often block progress. In moments when motivation wanes, reflecting on past small wins can rekindle your drive. The memory of overcoming previous hurdles reminds you that challenges are temporary and solvable. This perspective turns difficulties into opportunities for growth, rather than reasons to quit. Celebration serves as a reminder that the journey toward any meaningful goal is a process, not an event. It teaches patience and persistence, encouraging you to value steady improvement over instant results. Understanding this helps cultivate a resilient mindset that endures setbacks and maintains enthusiasm. Sometimes, small wins involve recognizing improvement in your mindset or habits rather than external achievements. For instance, celebrating a day when you resisted a distraction or maintained focus despite fatigue honors the internal discipline required for success. These victories may not be visible to others, but they are foundational to lasting change. By consciously integrating celebrations into your routine, you create a culture of progress and positivity. This cultural shift transforms your relationship with effort and achievement, making the path to your goals more enjoyable and sustainable. Celebrating small wins is an act of kindness toward yourself. It acknowledges your hard work, patience, and dedication. This self-compassion is vital for maintaining mental health and preventing burnout, especially during long or difficult journeys. Ultimately, the practice of celebrating small wins is about honoring the process and recognizing that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Each success adds to the momentum that will carry you closer to your dreams. This ongoing celebration builds a foundation of motivation, resilience, and confidence that turns effort into achievement, day by day. Chapter 14. Push through boredom by remembering your deeper why. There is a common enemy in every pursuit of success that sneaks up quietly, disguised in the dullness of routine and the monotony of repetition. It is boredom, the subtle force that threatens to derail even the most determined individuals. Boredom does not announce itself with fanfare. Instead, it creeps in slowly, wearing down enthusiasm and clouding the mind with restlessness. When boredom settles in, the temptation to quit or divert attention becomes overwhelming. Yet beneath the surface of this wariness lies an unshakable power waiting to be awakened, the deeper why, the core purpose that fuels persistence beyond the mundane. Remembering the deeper why is more than just motivation. It is a profound connection to the meaning behind every action. This connection acts as a compass that guides you through the grey moments when external excitement fades and distractions lurk. It is the anchor that holds steady when the initial thrill has worn off and the grind remains. By revisiting the fundamental reasons for your goal, boredom loses its grip because the task gains renewed significance. The monotony transforms into a meaningful step toward a larger vision. Boredom often signals that the mind is disengaged from the purpose beneath the action. The repetition of daily tasks can feel mechanical, stripping away the sense of progress and turning effort into a chore. This disconnection breeds dissatisfaction, making it harder to summon energy or creativity. But by consciously reconnecting with why the goal matters deeply, the mundane gains color and texture. Every small step becomes a deliberate choice, a contribution to a cause greater than the momentary discomfort. The deeper why may be a vision of freedom, a commitment to family, a desire for mastery, or a pledge to leave a legacy. It is unique to each individual, rooted in values and passions that transcend immediate gratification. When these reasons are vivid and clear, they ignite a quiet fire that burns beneath surface boredom. This fire sustains perseverance through the dullest periods and compels action even when enthusiasm wanes. To push through boredom, the deeper why must be made tangible and accessible. This requires intentional reflection, carving out moments to remind yourself of the bigger picture. Writing your reasons down, meditating on your purpose, or visualizing the impact of achieving your goal can reignite the internal drive. These practices transform abstract ideas into emotional fuel that propels you forward. Without a clear connection to purpose, it becomes easy to justify distraction or procrastination. Boredom then serves as an excuse, a reason to delay or avoid discomfort. But when the deeper why is front and center, it becomes harder to surrender to temporary dissatisfaction. The mind shifts from seeking escape to embracing challenge, understanding that discomfort is part of the journey towards something meaningful. Pushing through boredom is also a discipline of the mind. It requires training your attention to remain present and engaged, even when the task feels repetitive or uninteresting. This skill grows stronger when anchored by a profound sense of purpose. The deeper why acts as a lens that focuses awareness on what truly matters, filtering out noise and frivolity. It fosters resilience, enabling you to endure and excel despite moments of monotony. Every long-term achievement is made up of countless repetitive actions that, without the deeper why, would seem tedious. Champions and high achievers do not rely solely on bursts of passion. They cultivate a steady commitment fueled by meaning. This commitment turns mundane work into a sacred practice, a daily offering to the vision that drives them. Boredom can also reveal where the deeper why may have grown faint or become obscured by distractions or doubts. In these moments, it is an invitation to revisit and clarify your purpose. This process may require asking difficult questions. Why did I start? What do I truly want? What impact do I seek to make? Answering these questions honestly restores clarity and strengthens resolve. It is essential to guard your deeper why against dilution. External influences, negative thoughts, and societal pressures can cloud your vision. Regularly reaffirming your purpose acts as a shield against these forces, keeping your focus sharp and your energy aligned. This protection is critical because a weak or vague why is easily overwhelmed by boredom or frustration. Physical routines can support the mental work of remembering your why. Simple habits like journaling your purpose each morning or ending your day with a moment of gratitude for progress made reconnect your mind to what matters. These rituals embed your deeper why into daily life, making it a constant companion rather than a distant ideal. The sensation of boredom may ebb and flow, but the deeper why is a constant source of strength that can be drawn upon repeatedly. It becomes a wellspring of inspiration during difficult phases, reminding you that discomfort is temporary but the reward of perseverance is lasting. This perspective reframes boredom as a test of commitment rather than a signal to give up. To cultivate the ability to push through boredom, it helps to cultivate patience and acceptance. Recognizing that boredom is a natural part of any sustained effort removes the frustration that often accompanies it. Instead of resisting or resenting the dull moments, you learn to meet them with calm determination. This stoic acceptance, coupled with a powerful why, forms a resilient mindset capable of weathering challenges. Finally, pushing through boredom is a practice of self-mastery. It is the ability to choose purpose over pleasure, discipline over distraction, and long-term fulfillment over short-term ease. This choice defines the difference between fleeting attempts and lasting success. Each time boredom arises and is met with the force of a clear why, your capacity for perseverance grows stronger. This journey is not about eliminating boredom entirely, but about transforming its meaning. By holding fast to the deeper why, boredom becomes a doorway to greater focus, renewed energy, and unwavering commitment. It is the quiet battleground where your character is forged and your dreams take shape, one deliberate action at a time. Chapter 15. Say no to everything that weakens your mission. There is a quiet but powerful strength in the simple act of saying no. It may seem like a small word, but its impact can ripple across every part of your life, especially when it comes to protecting the mission you have set for yourself. The mission, the driving force behind your goals, your ambitions, your very purpose, demands clarity, focus, and fierce protection. Every choice you make either strengthens this mission or chips away at it. Saying no becomes an essential tool to safeguard your vision from dilution and distraction. At its core, saying no is about boundaries. It is an act of respect for your own time, energy, and priorities. Too often people spread themselves thin by accepting every invitation, every opportunity, and every demand that crosses their path. This eagerness, while sometimes born of good intentions, slowly erodes the foundation of progress. Each yes to something less important is a no to the mission that truly matters. Saying no is not about rejection of people or ideas. It is about rejection of anything that threatens the clarity and strength of your purpose. The mission you pursue is a delicate flame. It requires steady fuel and careful tending. Allowing distractions, toxic influences, or conflicting commitments to infiltrate your space dims that flame. When you say no to what weakens your mission, you create a protective circle around it. This circle keeps out chaos and confusion, giving your mission the breathing room to grow and flourish. The boundaries you establish through no become the invisible guardrails that keep you on course. Saying no also requires courage. It means turning down options that might seem attractive or socially expected, but do not align with your deeper goals. It means risking disappointment or misunderstanding from others who do not see your vision as clearly as you do. This courage is born from conviction, the unshakable belief that your mission deserves every ounce of your focus and strength. When you embrace this mindset, no becomes a declaration of loyalty to yourself and the future you are creating. Without this discipline, the mission can become diluted by compromise. It is tempting to say yes to everything in hopes of pleasing others or keeping options open. Yet each distraction added to your plate steals time and energy from what truly matters. The mission grows weaker, not from external forces alone, but from the small, seemingly harmless concessions made daily. Saying no is how you stop this slow bleed and reclaim your power. To effectively say no, clarity about your mission must be crystal clear. If your vision is vague or shifting, saying no becomes difficult because you lack a firm standard by which to judge requests and opportunities. When your mission is defined, every no becomes a strategic choice rather than a random refusal. It becomes easier to evaluate what aligns with your goals and what does not. This clarity transforms no from a negative word into a positive force of direction and protection. Saying no is also an exercise in self-respect. It acknowledges that your time is valuable and finite. By protecting your mission, you honor your commitment to growth and success. This respect sets a tone in your life that influences how others treat your priorities. When you confidently say no to what does not serve your purpose, you communicate that your mission is non-negotiable. This boundary commands respect and often leads to stronger relationships built on mutual understanding. Practically speaking, saying no involves making difficult choices every day. It means declining invitations that disrupt your focus, avoiding habits that drain your energy, and resisting the pull of distractions disguised as urgent but unimportant tasks. It means scrutinizing your commitments and ruthlessly cutting what does not contribute to your mission. This process can be uncomfortable because it challenges familiar routines and relationships, but it is essential for long-term progress. Saying no also protects your mental and emotional health. Overcommitting can lead to stress, burnout, and frustration, which undermine your ability to pursue your mission effectively. By guarding your time and energy, you create space for rest, reflection, and renewal. This balance fuels sustained effort rather than short bursts followed by exhaustion. Protecting your mission means protecting yourself as well. Moreover, saying no creates space for growth and opportunity within your mission. When your focus is undiluted, your actions become more deliberate and powerful. You can invest fully in learning, practicing, and improving the skills and habits that push your mission forward. Opportunities that truly align with your goals become clearer and easier to seize because your attention is not scattered. Saying no is not about closing doors, it is about opening the right ones with full presence and intention. It is important to recognize that saying no is a skill that requires practice and refinement. It may feel uncomfortable or unfamiliar at first, especially if you have been conditioned to prioritize pleasing others or avoiding conflict. Start small by identifying low-stakes areas where no can be practiced. Gradually build confidence in setting limits and communicating your priorities clearly and kindly. Over time, this skill strengthens and becomes a natural part of your decision-making process. Another key aspect is learning to say no without guilt or apology. When you understand that saying no is essential to honoring your mission, it frees you from unnecessary self-doubt. You can decline requests firmly and respectfully, knowing that your commitment is not selfish but necessary. This mindset shift transforms no from a source of internal conflict into a tool of empowerment. Saying no also requires awareness of subtle ways the mission can be weakened. Not all threats are blatant or external. Sometimes internal doubts, negative self-talk, or perfectionism quietly undermine your progress. Recognizing these internal saboteurs and saying no to their influence is equally important. Protecting your mission means cultivating a strong inner dialogue that supports rather than erodes your resolve. Ultimately, the power of no lies in its ability to create focus, protect energy, and preserve integrity. It sharpens your ability to prioritize what matters most and eliminates what distracts or diminishes your efforts. This clarity propels you forward with purpose and determination, turning your mission from a vague hope into a tangible reality. Your mission is your most valuable asset. Guard it fiercely by learning to say no to everything that weakens it. In this discipline lies freedom, the freedom to dedicate yourself fully to what matters, to rise above distractions, and to build a life aligned with your deepest purpose. Saying no is not a limitation, it is the gateway to limitless growth and success. Chapter 16. Measure your focus by the hours you control. Focus is the currency of accomplishment, and like any currency, its value depends on how wisely it is spent. When we speak about measuring focus, it is essential to recognize that focus is not an abstract quality floating somewhere in the mind. Instead, it manifests most clearly in the hours we control every day, the hours where our attention is deliberately directed toward what truly matters. How you manage these hours defines the trajectory of your progress and ultimately determines whether your goals remain dreams or become realities. Each day presents a finite allotment of time, 24 hours, and within that block, your power lies in how much of it you command with focused intention. It's not enough to simply wish for success or hope for progress. Success demands measurable commitment. When you begin to quantify your focus by the hours you master, you gain a concrete understanding of your dedication. This clarity transforms vague aspirations into accountable actions. Controlling your hours means more than filling a schedule. It means consciously choosing where your attention flows and consciously eliminating moments when your mind drifts into distraction. Many people confuse being busy with being focused, yet busyness often masks a lack of clear direction. Measuring your focus by the hours you control forces you to distinguish between activity and productivity. It asks you to evaluate whether your time serves your goals or simply passes you by unnoticed. Attention is a finite resource. Like a spotlight, it can only illuminate a small portion of your world at once. When that spotlight wanders toward trivial matters or distractions, the essential work is left in darkness. By measuring focus in hours, you become more aware of how frequently and how long you shine your spotlight on your priorities. This awareness is the first step in reclaiming control. The concept of hours you control also highlights personal responsibility. No one else holds the keys to your time, Outside demands may knock on your door, but it is your choice whether to answer and how long to engage. Taking ownership of your daily hours means recognizing your role as the gatekeeper of your attention. It means refusing to hand over your focus without thought or reason. One practical approach to this is tracking your time with honesty. For several days, observe where your hours go. Be brutally truthful. Are you spending hours scrolling social media, consumed by email, or engaging in activities that neither enrich your mission nor relax your mind constructively? Identifying these patterns reveals how many hours you actually control versus how many slip through your fingers. This reflection is eye-opening and humbling, but necessary. Once you have a baseline, begin to reallocate your hours with intention. Schedule blocks of uninterrupted time dedicated solely to your most important tasks. Guard these blocks fiercely. Treat them as sacred commitments, not optional suggestions. When you commit even a small portion of your day to focused work, you build momentum that compounds over time. These hours, controlled and invested, become the building blocks of achievement. The quality of your focus during these hours matters as much as the quantity. It's not about mere presence, but about deep engagement. Train yourself to minimize interruptions, turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and create a work environment that invites concentration. Every minute reclaimed from distraction strengthens your ability to stay present with your mission. Measuring focus by controlled hours also aligns with the natural rhythms of your mind and body. Some people are sharper in the morning, others late at night. Identify your peak periods of alertness and reserve those times for your most demanding and important work. By aligning your efforts with your natural energy, you increase the effectiveness of the hours you control. In addition, recognize that rest and recovery are vital components of controlled focus. Hours of work without renewal lead to diminishing returns. Scheduled breaks, physical movement, and mental pauses recharge your capacity to concentrate. When you protect your rest as part of your time management, you actually increase your control over focused hours. A subtle but powerful insight emerges when you consider how much control you have over your hours versus how much you surrender to external influences. Interruptions, unexpected obligations, or mental wandering steal your attention, but your response to these intrusions defines your level of control. Practicing quick recovery from distractions and returning your focus to priority tasks reinforces your command over your time. The habit of measuring focus in hours also encourages humility and patience. Progress is rarely linear or immediate. Some days you will have more control than others. Rather than harsh self-judgment, use these fluctuations as data points to refine your strategies. Celebrate the days when you hold your focus steady and learn from those when it slips. This measurement cultivates discipline. Knowing you will review how many hours you controlled makes you more accountable. It pushes you to create systems, whether through time blocking, task batching, or the Pomodoro technique, that maximize productive hours. Systems provide structure, and structure supports freedom by freeing you from chaos. Beyond individual tasks, controlling your hours means you consciously allocate time for planning, reflection, and learning. These moments are as critical as execution because they sharpen your understanding of your mission and adjust your course. Time devoted to sharpening your mind is as valuable as time spent in action. The hours you control become a mirror, reflecting your commitment. If your goals are important, your schedule will reveal this through the deliberate investment of your time. If you find your controlled hours lacking, it is a signal to re-examine your priorities, your boundaries, and your willingness to protect your focus. In essence, measuring your focus by the hours you control is about transforming intention into tangible practice. It converts abstract desires into concrete accountability. It teaches you that focus is not a mystical trait, but a skill developed through consistent effort and mindful choices. This perspective empowers you to take charge of your time and harness it as the greatest resource you possess. When you wake each morning, remember that your goal is not to fill your day with endless tasks, but to master your hours with precision and purpose. Let your mission guide how many hours you claim as your own, and let those hours become the foundation of lasting success. The more hours you govern with clear, undivided attention, the closer you move toward turning your vision into reality. Chapter 17. Renew your vision whenever you feel unmotivated. Motivation is like a flame that fuels the journey toward your dreams, but even the strongest fire can flicker and dim when faced with the wind of doubt, fatigue, or discouragement. In those moments when enthusiasm wanes and the path forward feels heavy, the key to pressing on lies not in forcing yourself harder, but in renewing your vision. When your inner drive feels depleted, refreshing your sense of purpose can rekindle that fire and propel you forward with clarity and strength. Your vision is the compass that guides every step, the reason you began the journey in the first place. Over time, it's natural for the original excitement to blur or feel distant as daily challenges accumulate. Yet, this is precisely when you must return to the heart of your mission and breathe life back into it. Renewing your vision is not just about remembering your goal, it's about reigniting the emotional connection that makes the goal worth pursuing beyond the obstacles. When motivation fades, it often signals a disconnection from your deeper why. It's easy to get caught up in the mechanics of work, tasks, deadlines, or routines, and forget the bigger picture. Re-engaging with your vision means peeling back those layers and rediscovering the emotions and values that fuel your ambition. Think about what originally inspired you, the freedom you sought, the impact you wanted to make, the legacy you hoped to leave. These are not mere ideas, they are living forces that can breathe energy into your every effort. Taking time to renew your vision requires intentional reflection. This might mean stepping away from the daily grind and creating space for stillness. In quiet moments, visualize not just the destination, but the feelings that accompany success, the pride, the joy, the sense of fulfillment. Such vivid imagining strengthens your emotional attachment and makes the goal feel real and urgent once more. Sometimes, renewing your vision involves rewriting it to fit your current reality. Goals evolve as you grow. Revisiting your vision with fresh eyes allows you to refine it, remove what no longer serves you, and highlight what has gained importance. This process brings renewed clarity, turning vague ambitions into precise targets that excite and motivate you again. Surrounding yourself with reminders of your vision can also powerfully revive your motivation. This might be a vision board filled with images that resonate with your dream, inspiring quotes that stir your spirit, or personal mementos tied to your journey. These external anchors serve as constant nudges to keep your purpose front and center, especially when internal drive falters. Another vital step in renewing your vision is connecting with role models and mentors who embody what you aspire to become. Their stories, struggles, and triumphs remind you that the path, while challenging, is navigable. Hearing how others overcame setbacks and stayed true to their vision provides a blueprint and emotional boost to continue your own pursuit. When you feel unmotivated, it's crucial to pause and ask yourself what stories you're telling internally. Negative self-talk or doubts can cloud your vision and drain your energy. Replacing those narratives with affirmations aligned with your vision restores mental clarity and emotional strength. Speak to yourself as a committed ally rather than a harsh critic, reminding yourself why your mission matters and that setbacks are temporary, not final. Sometimes the renewal comes from small victories that reignite belief in your capability. Celebrating progress, however minor, fuels momentum and nourishes your vision. These wins are tangible proof that your efforts produce results, strengthening your resolve to move forward even when the road is steep. At times, the energy to renew your vision springs from a simple shift in perspective. Instead of viewing obstacles as barriers, see them as opportunities to learn and grow. This mindset transforms frustration into curiosity and keeps your vision dynamic rather than stagnant. Growth fueled by challenges makes your goal more meaningful and worth pursuing with renewed vigor. Physical movement and self-care often accompany mental renewal. When you feel drained, engaging in exercise, nature walks, or mindful breathing refreshes both body and mind. These practices clear mental fog and create a fertile ground for vision to take root again. The state of your body influences your thoughts more deeply than many realize, so nurturing yourself physically is a powerful strategy for revitalizing your purpose. Renewing your vision also means committing to a continuous cycle of reflection and adjustment. Motivation fluctuates naturally. It's a pulse, not a constant flood. By making vision renewal a habit, you prepare yourself to navigate these fluctuations gracefully. Regularly revisit your vision with curiosity and openness, allowing it to evolve with your experience. It's important to recognize that motivation is not an external force to be waited for, but an internal resource to be cultivated. Renewing your vision reminds you that the power to inspire yourself lies within. This empowers you to reclaim your motivation at any moment, rather than feeling dependent on circumstances or external validation. When you renew your vision, you reconnect with the essence of your journey. You remind yourself that the mission you are on is worth the effort, the sacrifices, and the discomfort. This clarity turns the fog of unmotivation into a clear, shining path forward. Ultimately, renewing your vision is an act of faith in yourself, your purpose, and the possibility of transformation. It is a declaration that no matter how heavy the moment, your commitment to your goals remains alive and strong. By doing this regularly, you build resilience, sharpen your focus, and keep your spirit aligned with your highest aspirations. In those moments when motivation fades, pause and turn inward. Invite your vision to speak again with power and passion. Let it remind you of the promise you made to yourself and the future you are determined to create. This renewal becomes a wellspring of strength that carries you through the valleys, closer to the summit you envision. Remember, your vision is not a static image, but a living force that grows and breathes with you. Nourish it, refresh it, and let it fuel your journey every day, especially when motivation feels out of reach. The persistent renewal of your vision is the cornerstone of lasting success and unwavering progress. Chapter 18. Discipline your emotions to serve your future self. Emotions are powerful forces that can either propel us toward greatness or pull us into patterns that limit our potential. Every moment, the feelings we allow to govern our thoughts and actions create the foundation for our future. When you discipline your emotions, you are not suppressing them or denying their existence. Instead, you are choosing to harness these inner energies with intention, shaping them to serve the version of yourself you are determined to become. Emotional discipline is the bridge between who you are today and who you want to be tomorrow. It's about training your heart and mind to respond in ways that honor your long-term goals, rather than giving in to fleeting impulses or temporary discomforts. This doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent, but developing the capacity to steer your feelings so they work in your favor rather than against you. The first step in disciplining your emotions is awareness. You cannot manage what you do not recognize. Pay attention to how your emotional responses arise in different situations. Notice when frustration, fear, or impatience surfaces, and observe the triggers behind these feelings. By becoming a neutral witness to your emotions, you create the space needed to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Understanding the source of your emotions is crucial. Often, negative feelings stem from unmet expectations or distorted beliefs about what should be. Challenging these assumptions helps reduce the power emotions hold over you. When you learn to question whether your feelings reflect reality or just a temporary perspective, you gain greater control over your inner state. It's essential to remember that emotions are signals, not commands. They tell you what you value or what you might need to address, but they do not have to dictate your behavior. When anxiety urges you to avoid a difficult task, discipline means acknowledging the fear without letting it derail your progress. When frustration tempts you to give up, it means choosing persistence despite discomfort. Disciplining your emotions also involves replacing unproductive feelings with empowering alternatives. This might mean transforming doubt into curiosity, anger into motivation, or overwhelm into focused action. Such shifts don't happen overnight. They require consistent practice and patience. The more you cultivate these new emotional habits, the more naturally they will arise when you face challenges. Another key aspect is managing your emotional environment. The people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, and even the language you use internally shape your feelings. Curate your input carefully to support emotional balance. Engage with uplifting influences that encourage resilience, hope, and confidence, while minimizing exposure to negativity that saps your energy. Daily practices like mindfulness and meditation can strengthen your ability to regulate emotions. These tools train your brain to remain centered amid chaos and reduce the intensity of reactive feelings. Over time, you develop a calm clarity that allows you to respond to situations with grace rather than being swept away by emotional storms. It's also helpful to build a routine that includes moments of emotional check-in. Pause regularly to ask yourself how you're feeling and why. This habit fosters deeper self-understanding and prevents emotions from accumulating unnoticed until they explode. Writing in a journal or sharing your feelings with a trusted confidant can also provide valuable outlets for processing emotions healthily. Importantly, disciplining emotions does not mean denying your humanity. It means embracing the full spectrum of feelings, but choosing which ones to amplify and which to temper. This conscious emotional stewardship creates a foundation for mental clarity and purposeful action. It empowers you to move forward with consistent energy and resilience, even when circumstances challenge your resolve. When you develop emotional discipline, you protect your future self from the consequences of unregulated impulses. Every decision made in anger, fear, or frustration can create setbacks or missed opportunities. By contrast, emotions aligned with your goals energize and inspire you, creating momentum that compounds over time. Visualize your future self as someone who embodies emotional mastery, calm under pressure, confident in uncertainty, and steadfast in commitment. The habits you build today, in how you manage your emotional world, lay the groundwork for this ideal. Each moment of emotional choice shapes your character and builds the inner strength necessary for long-term success. There will be times when emotions surge uncontrollably, and that is part of being human. The difference lies in how quickly you recover and return to a centered state. Emotional discipline teaches you to treat these moments as temporary waves rather than permanent conditions. You learn to ride the waves without being pulled under. The ripple effects of emotional mastery extend beyond your personal journey. Your ability to regulate emotions influences your relationships, your leadership, and your overall quality of life. People respond positively to those who remain composed and intentional in their emotional expressions. This creates a powerful feedback loop where emotional discipline enhances social connections, which in turn supports your goals. It is important to approach emotional discipline with compassion. Be patient with yourself as you learn this skill. Growth in this area is often gradual and requires repeated effort. Celebrate your progress and view setbacks as opportunities for deeper learning rather than failures. The future you are working toward deserves the best version of yourself, including an emotional foundation that supports rather than sabotages your efforts. When you commit to disciplining your emotions, you invest in a future of greater clarity, resilience, and achievement. You step into a leadership role within your own mind and heart, guiding your life with intention and courage. Remember, emotions are energy in motion. Channel that energy with wisdom and purpose, and you will find that your path forward becomes clearer, your motivation steadier, and your capacity for success far greater. The discipline you apply to your emotional life today is the legacy you build for tomorrow. Embrace this challenge with determination. Train your emotions not as wild horses to be tamed harshly, but as powerful allies to be guided thoughtfully. This partnership between your mind and heart will carry you through obstacles, inspire creativity, and sustain your vision for a future you truly deserve. Chapter 19. Write down your goal every single morning. Every morning offers a fresh beginning, a new page waiting to be filled with your intentions, actions, and focus. One of the most powerful habits you can adopt is to write down your goal each and every morning. This simple act creates a direct line between your conscious mind and your deepest desires. It transforms a vague hope into a clear, concrete mission that guides your day with purpose and clarity. Writing your goal first thing in the morning ignites your focus. When your goal is laid out in black and white, it commands your attention before distractions and competing priorities flood in. It's a declaration that what matters most is not left to chance or forgotten in the busyness of life. This practice anchors your mind, reminding you of the reason behind your efforts and the destination you are committed to reaching. The process of putting your goal into words each morning is more than just a routine. It is a form of mental rehearsal. By writing it, you engage your brain's reticular activating system, the part that filters information and directs your focus toward what's important. This primes your mind to notice opportunities, resources, and ideas that align with your objective. In other words, your brain begins to work on your goal even before you take any direct action. When you write your goal down, you create a physical reminder that can be revisited throughout the day. It acts as a compass during moments of distraction or doubt, pulling you back to your true north. The clarity that emerges from seeing your goal in your own handwriting empowers you to make better choices, prioritize effectively, and maintain momentum even when motivation wanes. There is also an emotional element to this habit. Writing your goal each morning helps build a deep connection to your vision. It is an act of commitment that engages your emotions and your willpower. This connection strengthens your belief in the possibility of achieving your goal, fueling persistence and resilience. The written goal is no longer just an idea, it becomes a promise you make to yourself. This habit also helps prevent your goals from becoming vague or overly ambitious. When you write regularly, you become more precise and intentional about what you want to achieve. You start to clarify what success looks like, what steps are necessary, and what obstacles might arise. This clarity allows you to adjust your approach and remain realistic without losing sight of your aspirations. Writing your goal each morning sets a tone of accountability. It is a private contract with yourself that demands attention and action. You become less likely to procrastinate or let distractions take control because you have visually reaffirmed your commitment. Over time, this builds a pattern of discipline that spreads into other areas of your life, reinforcing a mindset of responsibility and growth. Another benefit is that this habit cultivates gratitude and mindfulness. As you write, you can reflect on why the goal matters, what progress you've already made, and the strengths you bring to the journey. This reflection keeps you grounded in the present while energized by the future you are creating. It shifts your perspective from resistance or overwhelm to appreciation and determination. This practice is especially powerful when combined with specific and actionable goals. Instead of vague statements like "I want to be successful," write something tangible and measurable, such as "I will complete the first draft of my book by next month," or "I will increase my daily exercise to 30 minutes. Clear goals create a roadmap that guides your efforts with precision and purpose. Consistency is the key to unlocking the full power of writing your goal every morning. Even on days when energy is low or circumstances are challenging, taking a few moments to put your goal on paper reactivates your focus and reinforces your commitment. It prevents small setbacks from becoming excuses for abandoning your path. The physical act of writing engages more of your brain than typing or merely thinking about your goal. It connects mind and body, creating a sensory experience that deepens your engagement. This connection helps imprint your goal into your subconscious, making it more accessible and influential throughout your day. Moreover, the process of writing allows for creative problem solving. As you articulate your goal and its steps, you may notice gaps, opportunities, or challenges you hadn't seen before. This clarity sparks ideas and strategies that can accelerate your progress. Writing becomes a dialogue with yourself, revealing insights and motivating new actions. Keeping a dedicated journal or notebook for your morning goal writing adds to the impact. Over time, you build a tangible record of your journey, a powerful tool for reflection and motivation. Reviewing past entries shows how far you've come, reminding you that progress is the result of consistent effort and focus. It helps maintain belief in your ability to overcome obstacles. Writing your goal daily also aligns your subconscious with your conscious efforts, creating harmony between what you want and how you behave. This alignment increases your likelihood of success because your mind no longer sends conflicting messages. Instead, every thought and action supports the vision you've clearly defined. In essence, this habit cultivates a mindset of intentional living. It moves you from reactive to proactive, from scattered to focused, from overwhelmed to empowered. Writing your goal each morning becomes a ritual that sets the rhythm of your day and the trajectory of your life. The benefits multiply as this habit becomes part of your identity. You start to see yourself as a person who plans, acts, and succeeds. Your confidence grows because you consistently demonstrate to yourself that your goals matter and that you are capable of pursuing them relentlessly. The simple act of writing your goal every morning is a powerful tool for anyone serious about transformation. It clarifies your vision, sharpens your focus, strengthens your resolve, and aligns your daily actions with your deepest desires. By making this practice non-negotiable, you ensure that your dreams remain alive, active, and steadily progressing. When you commit to this discipline, your goals no longer live in the realm of wishful thinking. They become tangible intentions, daily commitments, and the foundation for remarkable achievements. You create a momentum that builds with each sunrise, propelling you forward with purpose and passion. In the quiet moments of morning reflection, as your pen meets paper, you plant seeds of success that will grow throughout the day. This simple habit, done consistently, can transform your life one morning at a time. It is a declaration to yourself and the world that your goals are not negotiable, that your vision is clear, and that you are fully committed to the journey ahead. Chapter 20. Live each day like your dream depends on it. There's a unique power that unfolds when you choose to live each day as if your dream depends on it. This is not about fleeting bursts of motivation or temporary enthusiasm. It's a deliberate, unyielding commitment to infuse every moment with intention, energy, and focus, so pure that the dream you hold becomes the lens through which every decision is made. When your actions reflect the urgency and importance of your highest aspirations, ordinary days transform into extraordinary opportunities for progress. Living this way demands that you embrace a profound sense of responsibility for your own destiny. The mindset shifts from passive hope to active stewardship. Your dreams are no longer distant possibilities but urgent realities that require your attention now. This perspective compels you to prioritize relentlessly, to choose actions that move you closer to what matters most, and to let go of distractions that dilute your power. When you approach each day with the urgency of a dreamer who knows time is precious, procrastination loses its grip. The temptation to delay or settle for less is replaced by a fierce resolve to make meaningful strides. You stop waiting for the right moment or perfect conditions because you realize that the only time guaranteed to you is now. This urgency does not breed anxiety, rather it fuels a steady, confident momentum. This mindset also fosters deep presence. To live each day like your dream depends on it means you are fully engaged in your actions. Multitasking or half-hearted effort won't suffice because your dream demands your complete attention. Whether you're working on a critical project, learning a new skill, or simply planning your next step, you give yourself wholly to the task. This focus amplifies your effectiveness and speeds progress. Living this way requires courage, the courage to face uncertainty, to push beyond comfort, and to confront setbacks with resilience. When you know your dream depends on today's effort, excuses fall away. Fear no longer paralyzes you because your purpose eclipses doubt. Each challenge becomes a necessary part of the journey, a test that strengthens your character and sharpens your resolve. This daily commitment also shapes how you manage your energy. Recognizing that your dream depends on every hour encourages you to protect your physical, mental, and emotional reserves. You become intentional about rest, nutrition, and mindset practices that sustain high performance. This stewardship ensures that you show up as your best self consistently, ready to meet the demands of your ambition. Another remarkable effect of living each day with this mindset is how it influences your relationships and environment. You naturally seek out people and situations that support your vision and inspire growth. You become selective about your influences because you understand that your surroundings either elevate or drain your potential. Your choices create a positive feedback loop that propels you forward. This approach to life cultivates gratitude and appreciation. When you view each day as a critical step toward your dream, you recognize the gift of time and opportunity. You develop a habit of acknowledging progress, no matter how small, and celebrating the privilege of pursuing something meaningful. This gratitude fuels optimism and perseverance through inevitable challenges. Living as if your dream depends on it also transforms how you handle setbacks. Instead of viewing obstacles as failures or reasons to quit, you see them as signals that guide you toward necessary adjustments. You respond with curiosity and adaptability rather than defeat. This perspective keeps your momentum alive and your vision clear. Your language and self-talk change when you adopt this mindset. You speak with conviction about your goals, framing them as non-negotiable parts of your identity. This shift affects how your subconscious processes your dreams, reinforcing commitment and action. You stop saying "I hope" or "I want" and start affirming "I will" and "I am." There is a powerful alignment between intention and action that happens when you live each day like your dream depends on it. You become a person who doesn't just dream but does. You transform vague aspirations into concrete results through daily, consistent effort. This alignment breeds confidence because you know your actions match your desires. Every morning becomes a fresh declaration of purpose. You wake with clarity about what must be accomplished and why it matters. This clarity eliminates confusion and indecision, replacing them with decisive, purposeful movement. The simple act of starting your day with this mindset often sets the tone for the entire day's productivity. Living with this urgency is not about burning out or rushing blindly. It is a sustainable discipline that balances intensity with self-care and reflection. You learn to pace yourself, understanding that long-term success requires endurance as much as effort. This balance allows you to maintain high standards without sacrificing your well-being. When setbacks arise, as they inevitably do, your commitment to living each day for your dream gives you a wellspring of motivation to keep moving forward. You draw strength from the knowledge that every step counts, that no effort is wasted, and that persistence is the ultimate differentiator between those who achieve and those who don't. This mindset invites a sense of accountability that is both empowering and humbling. You own your choices fully, recognizing that your progress or lack thereof is directly tied to how you invest your time and energy. This accountability frees you from blaming external circumstances or waiting for validation. Instead, you become the architect of your success. Living each day like your dream depends on it also encourages continuous learning and growth. You seek feedback, study your craft, and look for ways to improve. This hunger for growth keeps your momentum strong and your skills sharp. You become a lifelong student of your dream, constantly refining your approach. This approach transforms ordinary habits into powerful rituals. Whether it's dedicating focused time to your work, journaling progress, or practicing visualization, these daily actions become sacred commitments that fuel your journey. Each ritual reinforces your dedication and keeps your dream alive in your consciousness. Finally, living each day as if your dream depends on it is a profound expression of respect for yourself and your potential. It is a refusal to settle for mediocrity or distraction. Instead, it is a commitment to honor your deepest desires with the full force of your being. This is the essence of a life lived with purpose, passion, and relentless dedication. The difference between a dream and a reality often lies in how you approach each day. When you treat every moment as a vital thread in the fabric of your future, you weave a life of intention and accomplishment. This daily commitment unlocks your highest potential and turns dreams into achievements that inspire others to do the same.